Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome. welcome to our seasonal anime Zatsudan. It's time. It's finally time to do this. So I was really hoping that by today I would have a new modem. It was supposed to get here today, but then it got delayed by 2 days. So we still have the old modem. If we have problems, we'll just roll with it. But thankfully, I don't know, me doing a PowerPoint doesn't seem to like cause the most problems, so fingers crossed. But yes, welcome everyone. You know, it's funny. I don't know if it was delayed because, let me actually scoot forward a little bit here. I don't know if it was delayed because we've had some like really big storms roll through the area. It's been really rainy. And then we're supposed to get thunderstorms at some point today. And let me tell you, okay, I'm slightly more calm now, but my heart was beating like crazy because the tornado alarms started going off. There's this really loud, it'll blare across like the entire, I guess like part of the city that I'm in. And it just started blaring and I'm like, what's happening? Why is the tornado alarm going off? And then I went and pulled up the weather stuff and they were like, oh, today it's our I don't know. I feel like they do this every couple months. So it's not like a yearly thing. This is like every 4 months. Yumie is terrified. For a couple minutes. But yeah, no, it was just a drill. They're like, oh, right before your stream time, we're just gonna have this drill. And I'm like, thanks so much for that. I thought I was going to have a heart attack. Like, what? There isn't any... There's no indication that there was a tornado. I can't find a tornado warning. So anyway, there's no tornado. It was just a drill. But, That was not great. Capybara. That's such an excellent question. Actually, I think your name might be Capybara. Capybara. Fantastic question. Do the bikers ride in the tornado? I would have thought no. But I just heard them go by right before the stream, so. I guess that's the thing, though. It was just a drill. So technically, I suppose they weren't riding in the tornado, just the tornado drill. Oh, God. But yeah, no, thank you all. I'm very happy, at least, that it's just been rainy. We haven't had any indications that I should be worried about tornadoes. It was just one of those moments, though, where I'm like, oh, that's right. It's going to be summer again soon. I had made it out of blizzard season, which is great. It seems like blizzards are finally done, but that means that the tornadoes will come back again, so, you know. It's all good. I have plenty of ways to deal with that if that happens. So, it's gonna be all right. That's the thing. I don't know that it would surprise me if they rode around during a tornado. They can't really be stopped by anything. Even when the weather's bad, they're still out moving around. I guess technically when it's really rainy, the bikers are gone. And when there's ice on the ground. But that's it. They're out and about the rest of the time. Oh, God. But I have so many... Oh, my God. I have so many shows to talk about with y'all today. I'm so excited. It was really fun putting this together because it was kind of just like smashing all of the shows that I've loved over the last couple of months, putting it in this presentation, and then talking about all of the shows I'm very excited for. I don't know. We've had a really, really good set of shows from this last season. You've definitely heard me talk about some of them already in previous streams, but it's gonna be good. So let's hop into this, y'all. So, as you all know, I watch entirely too much anime every season. I try to give every show at least one episode, but I try to do 3 if I can, just to give everything a fair shake. So hopefully, me consuming entirely too much anime will be helpful to share what I think that you folks might be interested in. So without further ado, let's hop into winter 2024. So this was the season starting from January and going all the way through the end of March. Frieren has, the first 28 episodes have concluded, and it was really good. It was really good. Y'all have heard me pitch Frieren several times now. I gave a very long talk at the beginning of the last stream about why I think everybody should watch Frieren. So if you haven't watched that already and you're curious about Frieren, you can go and listen to that. It's at the very beginning of the last seasonal anime I did. But yeah, Frieren has reached the conclusion of its 28 episodes. That's a great question, Magical. Would I recommend Frieren? You know, I think I would. I think I would extremely recommend Frieren. Listen, Frieren is amazing, and I sobbed so hard when it was done. I actually put it off for like 2 or 3 days because I didn't want the anime to be done. I didn't want the anime to be over. So anyway, I finally just accepted that it was time. I needed to finish it, and then I could go and read the manga while I'm waiting for a season 2 confirmation. So yes, I would highly recommend it. It was absolutely fantastic. Also, I just want to mention, I've talked about this before, that the animation in this series is extremely good. Whoo boy, the second core was really, really, really good. It was extremely good. Some of the best animation I've seen, kind of period. It was absolutely fantastic. They went really hard with some of the fights in the second core, and 10 out of 10 work. The animators at Madhouse did a very, very good job. Oh my god. So yeah, it was very, very good. I will continue to pray for a second season from Madhouse. But in the interim, what I can say is that if you ended up really liking the series, whenever the Blu-rays are available, that's a great way to directly support a series, is to buy Blu-rays of it. That's just something that helps with like sales numbers and goes back to the animators and the original creator. But in addition to that, because Frieren is an ongoing series, go read the manga. Make sure to go read the manga. It's really good. You can go and check that out. There's a bunch of it. It's fantastic. I think that y'all will have a very good time reading it. So anyway, also it's really, really well drawn. I've been constantly very impressed with the art in it. So yes, go and read the manga. It is extremely good. Oh, and good. Excellent. Some of you are already reading the manga. Perfect. Perfect. All right, you're already set. Perfect. Well, for those of you who aren't reading it yet, if you liked the anime, go read it. And maybe consider going and buying some volumes of it. I've actually been having a really hard time finding volumes. I feel like everyone is buying them in my area, and it's driving me nuts. So, oh my god, Magical! Good god, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the gifted memberships. That's extremely kind of you. I appreciate that. Oh my god. Y'all are very kind. Thank you. Oh my god. What was I saying? Frieren? I got distracted. Y'all are very kind. Okay, yes, Frieren. Read the manga, get the Blu-rays. Promote the series. It's very good, and hopefully we'll get a season 2. I feel like at the end of the series they're like, the journey continues, and I'm like, okay, but does it? Is that a confirmation of a season 2? Madhouse, please give me more. Oh god. So anyway, yeah, that was my number 1 anime of not just the last season, but of the year and of several years. I love Frieren to death. It is extremely good. So yeah, before I spend too much time just talking about Frieren, I'll have to move on. Or I'll just end up talking about Frieren some more, but it's very, very good and you should go check it out. Okay, next show that I will highly recommend. I've also talked about this one before, but I wanted to bring up the second core of the Apothecary Diaries happened. it was also extremely good. Oh my gosh, it was spectacular. It was beautiful. I also cried at the ending. It was absolutely fantastic. Big fan. For those of you who aren't familiar with this show, it's a bit of like problem-solving Sherlock Holmes energy with some really great comedy, with fantastic voice acting and animation, and it takes place in Imperial China. So it's obviously a fictional version of that, but a lot of it draws from real-life history and real-life problems that people, especially women, had to deal with during that time. And it's very, very good. Extremely good. In particular, the second core really focused on our main character, Mao Mao's past, as well as Jinshi's secrets. And boy, yeah, it was very good. Needless to say, I thought it was very well done, and I desperately, desperately want more. It continued to have not just incredible animation, but even with everything that was really serious that was happening throughout the second core, I felt like they did a really good job balancing moments of intrigue and heartache, and still making sure that there was enough comedy to make you laugh. So that was good, because the second core was a lot more serious than the first one, and it was good. I was really happy with how things turned out, so God, yes, Mao Mao is the best cat. She is the best cat. She's so memeable. Like, there's so many gifs that I have that I just use because she's perfect. She's absolutely perfect. So anyway, I am delighted to say that although there is no official confirmation of a Frieren Season 2 just yet, there is a official confirmation of a Season 2 of Apothecary Diaries. It will be happening in 2025, so look forward to that. If you are a fan of the show and you want more, just like I did, then get ready, because we're having more. I'm so happy. When this showed up, I think this was at the end of the last episode, they're like, oh, it's confirmed for a second season. I kind of lost it. So, yeah, it's very, very good. Perfect, you say. Yes, no, Mao Mao is the most perfect cat. God, for real though, this series is fantastic. If you haven't checked it out already, I would highly suggest giving it at least a couple episodes to see what you think. I've actually heard from some folks when I recommended this last time that they ended up just binging the whole thing. Super respectable. I completely understand. I feel like it's also fantastic because if you haven't watched it up to this point, if you go and watch it now, you've got like the entire 2 core to go and watch, so that'll be good. You'll have a lot of episodes to just binge through all at the same time. Oh my word. Oh yes, okay, speaking of other shows that I loved from last season, so we had Frieren, one of my favorite series in a really long time. Apothecary Diaries, which was absolutely fantastic, completely took me by surprise, wonderful. And again, for all of these, the same deal as always. If you really like a series and you want to continue supporting it, supporting the original source material is always absolutely fantastic. And there's a bunch of Apothecary Diaries. Okay, let's talk about Dungeon Meshi. Dungeon Meshi is and has been one of my favorite manga series for a very long time. So when I first heard that it was going to be animated, I lost my mind, got extremely excited, felt worried because when you love a series so much, you get really paranoid about like, are they gonna do it justice? Are they gonna do a good job with it? Are my favorite characters gonna get like the treatment they deserve? Will the animation like be good? What about the voice acting? The Dungeon Meshi's been amazing. It's been so good. Trigger has absolutely nailed it. Oh, it's been absolutely fantastic. So, you all remember when I first talked about this series, I mentioned that it's a combination of food manga, comedy, and cosmic horror. Well, we have now reached the part of the anime where cosmic horror starts being a very big thing. So yeah, things have definitely started progressing quite a bit, which is quite exciting because I am here for it. This was the part of the series when I read the manga where I just became completely in love with this series. Like, I really liked the series up to this point, but I became obsessed with it at this point. So yeah, it's gonna be extremely good. Buckle up. It's gonna be fantastic. One thing I do want to say, because I've seen some folks, when like this type of discourse has happened online, I've seen some people being like, no, but my cozy cooking anime, what's gonna happen now? Is that going away? No, there is still unbelievably going to continue to be comedy and fantastic cooking. That is one of the things I love about this series, is it somehow still manages to be extremely funny and makes you want to eat all of the food that they make throughout the entire series, while also introducing some extremely unsettling things, which is spectacular. Cthulhu. Yes, exactly. Instead of Cthulhu, it's Cthulhu. Exactly. But yes, this is your PSA that if you've been into this series up to this point, or if you haven't checked it out but you're now interested, buckle up, because this is where the series is about to really launch. It's going to become a lot more spectacular as the story progresses, which again is amazing because I already had loved this series up to this point, but then it just became somehow even better. So that was absolutely wonderful. That being said, I want to give you all a very firm warning right here and right now. Please do your best to avoid social media discussions of this show. I understand. I understand on one hand, right? Like, I am like this, where I just want to talk about this show all the time. But right now, discussions of this show, especially on things like Twitter or pretty much any social media site where people will like come together to talk about stuff, it's just rampant with really big spoilers. Like, I'm not talking like little spoilers that you're like, oh, I kind of suspected that, but you know, no, like these are enormous spoilers. I actually got so mad. I was just scrolling through my Twitter feed, then someone was like, okay, we gotta talk about this part of the manga, and it was this picture that showed an enormous spoiler from like the last volume, and I'm over here being like, dog, what are you doing? That hasn't happened in the anime yet. What are you doing? You can't just go, oh my god, so many people are gonna see that when they're searching for the anime. This is ridiculous. So anyway, please be very cautious. Honestly, I'm also going to say, maybe be cautious about image searches as well. Like if you look up a character name, you're like, ooh, I want some more info on like these characters. Maybe don't. Maybe wait. Just hold off a little bit, because people are also dumping stuff into Imgur and a bunch of other things. I went to go and grab some screenshots just for these slides that I've been showing you all, and oh my god, I couldn't believe it. There were so many crazy big spoilers that were the first hits when I went to the image tab on Google. I'm like, oh my god. No, this is crazy. I hope no one goes and searches for this. So anyway, my suggestion would be avoid social media discussions on this. As tempting as it is, you can talk about this in my Discord server if you want. Folks have been very good about keeping spoilers to a minimum. Especially with like tagging them so that you don't have to see them. I think probably the other place that has been okay is Reddit. The Reddit has had some problems for a while. I have not used Reddit nearly as much over the last 6+ months or so. But if you're still on Reddit and you go to the anime discussions, the moderators are pretty good about making sure people don't spoil things. But like, you'll also see like stuff from episodes there if you haven't caught up on them yet. So yeah, I know. Reddit is not okay. Reddit hasn't been okay for a while, but it got substantially worse over the last year or so. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, that's actually true, Man in the Moon. That's the other thing, is there are people who will just watch the anime and they will post theories. And yeah, that's... That's the thing, you don't know if they're actually theories or if they're people who have read the manga and they're just like, oh, this is a theory I have. And you're like, you've definitely read the manga. That's too specific. Like, there's no way. Either you're somehow prophetic or like, I don't know about that. So, yeah, that's the thing. The Dungeon Meshi is... that's kind of the deal with it, is it does have like really nice slow bits, and that's the thing, if it's not your jam, that's totally fine. But it's kind of trying to balance between like being nice and slow and just taking its time with like exploring this dungeon and cooking and uncovering unsettling things about the dungeon, and then things kind of start ramping off of a cliff. So yeah. But no worries, just because I like a show, it's fine if y'all don't like it too. But I figure I should recommend it because, oh boy, I really love Dungeon Meshi a lot. So I think it's worth recommending to you folks, just in case y'all like it. One thing I do want to mention is, based on the pace that they've been going with the anime adaptation, there's a pretty good chance that they'll have 2/3 of the series animated by the end of the second core. They're actually keeping up a really good pace as they're going through this. Just to let you all know, Dungeon Meshi, the manga, it's complete. Like, it's done. It's completely written. It is absolutely fantastic. So... what I am hoping is that at the end of the second core, we'll get a confirmation for a 3rd season, because that would tie up the entire series, which would be wonderful. So yeah, a bunch of the series will be animated. If they end up taking their time with some of this next section, I completely understand. There's a lot that's going to be happening. But yeah, I think that at the very least, they will be over halfway through the series by the end of the second core. And in the most optimistic scenario, they'll actually hit that 2/3 mark. Because so far, we're about 1/3 of the way through the series. So yeah. It's exciting. I'm really, I don't know, Trigger's been killing it with this. They've been doing a good job. Yeah, I think it's like, I'm trying to remember, I think it's like 94 chapters. Yeah, it's under 100 chapters. So yeah, thank you. Yes, yeah, it's like 97 or so. I think that is correct. I couldn't remember. It's in the, it is less than 100, but yeah, it's really good and it is complete. So that's also nice if you end up reading the manga and you want to binge all of it. It is all available. It is complete. But otherwise, the anime will continue releasing, and I'm really hoping that they'll actually animate all of it. Oh, because there's some scenes that happen in the next bit that I am super, super, super excited to see how they animate it, because some of the things that they've already been animating have been so good. Oh my god. Actually, that's true. They could just do a movie for the last third. It would actually kind of work as a movie. Oh, that's exciting. Oh, that's exciting to hear. Oh, I don't know. Now you got me hoping for a movie. That would be great. But either way, a season 3 would also be fantastic. Or excuse me, not season 3, season 2, excuse me. But yeah, I would highly recommend either watching or reading this series. It is one of my favorite series of all time, and I hope that you all enjoy this absolutely wild story. It is going to be crazy. Oh man, I actually don't know. So they did confirm that 100 Girlfriends was getting a season 2. I don't know when though. I don't know if that's 2025 or not. Oh, I'm excited for that though. It's gonna be really, really good. Oh man, that's true. That is the downside of whenever movies release in Japan, it does take a while to go elsewhere. I guess if some of you folks live in Asia, you'll be able to get movies sooner, but for those of us elsewhere, it takes a little bit. But yeah, that was my Dungeon Meshi talk. Thank you for listening to it. It's extremely good. Moving to a completely different genre. Moving into the romance section, I wanted to come back to A Sign of Affection because I talked about this during our last seasonal anime review. And I just wanted to say that after completing the series, all of my opinions about it are still exactly the same. It's extremely adorable. It's really wholesome. I think that they do a really good job of showing the difficulties that Yuki has to deal with, just with her hearing disability, but they never infantilize her. In fact, it's really nice, like, showing some characters that try to treat her like she isn't a person with autonomy, and her, like, being able to still live her life and, like, not necessarily prove them wrong, but like get to live the life that she wants to live without other people tying her down. And it's really, really good. It's fantastic. It's also got a ton of really good sign language in it. I've been reading a bunch of reviews from people who are like, wow, they actually nailed a lot of that, which is super good. So yeah, I would highly recommend this series. It's really, really, really cute. It made me so happy. Seriously, it is a fantastic, very lovely romance that embraces emotional growth and just like living the best life that you can. And I think that's wonderful. So yeah, I would highly recommend this series. Okay, in addition to this, if you want some more good romance, or you just want an extremely good series, we need to talk about Bokuyaba. So I've talked about Bokuyaba a little bit before, but I'm going to talk a lot about it right here. So Bokuyaba has been one of my favorite romance manga for a long time. So when I saw it was getting an animation, I kind of had the same thought with Dungeon Meshi, where I'm like, oh god, I hope it's good. I hope they do a good job. Oh god. And I can't believe this, but the anime has somehow transcended beyond like what I thought was possible. I love this anime. It's so good. They somehow managed to take all of the things that I loved about the manga, and by adding such good animation and such good blocking and directing and music, and all of the voice actors just knock it out of the park. Oh my god, it's so good. It is like the perfect version. It's absolutely incredible. So yeah, for those of you who aren't familiar with Bokuyaba, which is also called The Dangers to My Heart, it is not just a story about growing up and about developing romance with someone else, but it's about learning to love yourself. And I think that's so beautiful. Like, it's not just about how difficult it can be to be young and trying to navigate through life and figuring out who and what you want to be, but it's also about loving yourself and trying to find ways to not just be kind to yourself, but to live the life that you want. Oh, I'm getting emotional just talking about this. It's really, really good. So yeah, it reflects the difficulties of both love and friendship, which can be very messy, especially as middle schoolers, which is what it focuses on. But like, even as an adult, this still hits really hard. And something that I wanted to really emphasize is that this series does a really good job of showing healthy relationships, which I think is really excellent. It shows developing these healthy relationships, not just with other people, but with yourself too, which I think is really good. Oh, yeah, it's an incredible series. I'm just tearing up talking about this. So it has now reached what I think is a spectacular conclusion. The manga is actually still ongoing, so if you finish the anime and you want more, there is more. But if you just watch the anime, it is fantastic. Hands down, one of the most like... It's one of the most poignant endings. Oh my god, I'm just tearing up thinking about it again. It's so good, it's so good, it's so good. So yeah, please consider giving it a watch, even if you're not someone who's typically into romance anime. This is more than that. It's about loving yourself and living a better life, which I think is fantastic, so... Anyway, I would highly recommend Bokuyaba. It's extremely good. And you'll have a bunch, you can binge it all at once. It's fantastic. Okay, one other thing I wanted to mention, I've kind of briefly mentioned this before. As a side note, I based Bear's model off of this glorious man here on the right. Now, this man is so glorious that when I first showed some of the early drafts of Bear's model to Bear, he was like, oh no, I can't live up to that. That man is too good. He's too powerful. I can't compare to that. I'm like, what are you talking about? What? That is ridiculous. It's perfect. It's a perfect match. So anyway, I love this man. This man is fantastic, and I based a Bear's model off of him. So yeah, no, he is actually fantastic. It is wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Oh God. So anyway, if you haven't watched Bokuyaba already, you should go and check it out. It's extremely good. Extremely, extremely good. If you finish watching some of the stuff that we've talked about so far, you might find that you've been crying a lot. So let me offer you some comedies. Some things to make you laugh a lot, to help, like, take the edge off a little. It's not like some of the things we've talked about haven't had some comedy in them, but these two are more pure comedy, which I think is worth mentioning. So the first on our list to talk about is Mashle. Mashle got a second season. Mashle is fantastic. It is extremely funny. I actually don't know how it manages to balance being so damn funny while having some genuinely kind of intense scenes. Things kind of ramp up a little bit. The second season gets pretty serious at a couple of points, and they did a really good job of still managing to have funny moments that didn't feel like they were stretching. Like, it fit perfectly with the theme while still resolving things really nicely. So yeah, and yes, if you haven't watched the season 2 OP, oh my god, it is amazing. It's so good. I kind of just listen to it all the time. I actually heard that it reached the top of the charts in Japan for a couple of weeks, which is absolutely fantastic. Super good song, super fantastic OP. Highly recommend. You know, Mashle's muscles literally are magic. He's kind of incredible. Oh god. But yeah, no, it was super good. If you haven't watched it yet, I think it's super funny. I think it's fun to watch. You can binge through a whole bunch of it at once. And season 2 is extremely good. They did a very good job with it. How many spells do you lift? God, entirely too many. He's so swole. He's so swole. It's insane. It's insane. Okay, so if you also want something else on top of that, which is respectable, having more comedy in your life is always good. I have talked about this a little bit before, but I'm going to once again recommend 'Tis Time for Torture Princess. It is so good. It's one of those series that also transcends the manga with the vocal and visual performances. They did such a good job with selling how tasty everything that everyone is eating looks. Oh god, I get so hungry whenever I watch this series. But also, all of the vocal performances were so good. I listened to this in the original Japanese, and everyone is so good. My favorite vocal performance of everyone, it was a really close call. I loved our beloved princess quite a bit, but her sword Excalibur X, he is probably my favorite vocal performance in the entire thing. He's so good. It's fantastic. Everything he does and says is just perfect. It's absolutely incredible. I don't know, they somehow made him like one of the funniest characters. And he was really funny in the manga too, but like I think that he's extra funny in the anime just because of how good his voice actor is. So yeah. In addition to this, I would also like to say that this series is a little bit of blatant propaganda for why the Demon Society is superior in every way. They have very good working conditions. They're very generous with pay and time off. They take care of people that are in their custody. very friendly, very welcoming. There's a lot of diversity in the demon society, and everyone is very kind and very conscientious. It's fantastic. And anyway, at the end of the series, you'll probably conclude, just like Bear did, I think it was like episode 7 where Bear just paused it and was like, so like, the demon society is just the right one, right? Like everyone should just go and live in the demon society. Like, yeah, no, this series does kind of make you want to, you know, maybe give up your humanity, join the demons. It's all good. Are you suggesting capitalism is bad? No, me? No. I would never go on rants about capitalism being bad. Everyone should join the demon society. It's better in every way. Eat the rich. Anyway, I don't know what came over me. But anyway, the demon society is very good, and you'll come to that conclusion too. At the end of this series. Also, there's a lot of very, very good characters. I love them. I love them to death. Also, I am absolutely delighted, like many of the shows we've talked about, 'Tis Time for Torture has been confirmed for a second season, and I am so happy. I am so happy. Oh my god, I get more of this series. It is wonderful. I think this one was definitely a sleeper hit earlier in the season. I saw a lot of people who were like, I'm not too sure about this one, or, you know, I think that this one is a pass for me, but it's very nice for me to see that folks have really come around to like how wholesome this series is, despite the title. It's also extremely well animated and just like a really good feels good show. That being said, as always, if you don't like the series, that's totally fine. This is just my own opinion. I think this show is very nice to watch, so yeah, it's very, very good. Okay, so we've gone through some serious drama. We've gone through some cosmic horror. We've gone through romance and comedy. It's time to talk about some action. Let's talk about solo leveling. Okay. Actually, before we talk about solo leveling, I'm realizing that my throat's a little dry. Quick hydration check for everyone. I've been talking a lot. So give me a second. Everyone have a drink real quick, and then we'll hop into solo leveling. It's my own correct opinion, Alter Yumie. Listen, I can't speak for Miyu, but she does have some very strong opinions. Okay, give me a second. Okay, let's hop into solo leveling. So, for those of you who are unaware, solo leveling is right now extremely popular, and it comes from an equally popular webcomic. It is based around a Korean man who is living in kind of like a post-apocalyptic society. There's still... Maybe I shouldn't call it quite. It's like halfway to post-apocalyptic. There's a bunch of gates that are opening up all over the place, and monsters will spill out, and some people have the ability to fight against these monsters. They actually have classes and levels, and they can improve to some extent and actually fight these things. Is that true? Did it actually spawn a mobile game too? That's not surprising. This is a very, very popular webcomic. So when this was announced, there was a lot of hype around it. There's actually a bunch of people who are enormously big fans of this. I watched the entire thing. I am a big fan of action. It can be extremely fun to watch. I gave this as best of a shot as I could, and I unfortunately am one of the people that I didn't enjoy this series. It's just not for me. But I wanted to bring it up because even if it's not for me, it might be for you. You might enjoy this series, even if I didn't enjoy this series. So I figured I'd talk about it still. I'd explain some of the things that I didn't like about it. In case you're like, you know, I don't think I would like that either, and then you don't have to go and watch it. It'll be fine. I no, gasp. But yeah, I gave it my best shot, and I didn't like it. I can understand the appeal, but I did not personally enjoy it. Okay, so here's the appeal of the show. The series is about as pure of power fantasy as you can get. Like, okay, y'all, there's a lot of series that try to do power fantasies, but this is like the most... person literally is leveling up to become absurdly powerful, like episode by episode. That is like the entire gimmick of the series. You get to bask in how obscenely powerful this person is becoming, episode to episode. Okay. In addition to that, the animation is very good. Like, objectively, the animation is incredible. The OP is, like, ridiculous. It's extremely well done. A lot of the fight scenes are really well choreographed. There's a lot of really good stuff that's in this. So if you like this, if you like power fantasies and you want to watch something that has really good animation, and you're fine with like not much else, I think that you'll enjoy this because you can kind of turn your brain off for a lot of it and just enjoy a lot of it. You know, that's actually a good question. Is it really bad story or is it just light on story? So I don't want to say anything too controversial here. I am of the opinion that the story is a little two-dimensional. I think there's a lot of things that don't make a lot of sense, just with like the world building itself. And then there's some odd pacing choices that they make with how quickly he levels up. It kind of feels like at times there's parts where you're like, I feel like he should have been able to like have no issues whatsoever in certain parts of the series, but like it almost feels like arbitrarily they needed to show him not being super powerful so that he could have another power spike. So I don't know. That's kind of like a big thing of this genre, is that like when it's one of the hard things with a power fantasy is if you make your character too powerful too fast, you have to find ways to like smack them back down again, and a lot of those end up being really contrived. So I wouldn't say, yeah, I don't know that it's like too different from like other power fantasies. It's just like well animated, I think. I think that's actually a very good call out. Okay, so my main issue with the series, in addition to like not really vibing too much with like some of the world building, I'm sorry, but the main character, the more powerful he becomes, he's such an asshole. He becomes such an asshole. It's like as his power level increases, so does his piece of shit meter. Like, I'm stunned by this. It's this idea of like, well, now that I've become powerful, I'm not empathetic anymore. I look down on people who have trauma. I act rudely to other people because they're beneath me. And I'm like, okay, just because you've become physically powerful doesn't mean you get to be a jackass. That's not how that works. Oh my god. So anyway, that was the thing that kind of broke it for me, because like he's the main character, right? Like you're supposed to be invested in him, and I just hated him. I just hated him so much. He started out as like, okay, I kind of see what's going on. They're trying to give like some empathetic like backstory stuff, and he seems like a nice enough person and whatever. That's the thing. He definitely is supposed to be losing his humanity, but like, it does make him a piece of shit. It does make him an asshole, and I don't like him, and that's a problem. So, yeah, unfortunately, that was what did it for me. I did not like the main character. I felt like, especially as the series went on, he just kept being insufferable. Oh my god. They also did the thing too where they're like, oh, as he becomes more powerful, all of the women are just throwing themselves at him, and I don't know. I understand that's part of the whole deal, but all I'm thinking is I'm like, but he's such an asshole. I hate to, dispel this myth, but like, it turns out women don't actually like people who are assholes. That's not how that works. Like, I don't know how to tell this to you, but yeah, no, it's... Oh Oh my god. So anyway, if you feel like you're able to like get past this part of the series, more power to you. I unfortunately got kind of held up on it. Oh my god. So it is getting a second season. It is very popular. A bunch of people are really into it. And again, please, if you were one of those people, who watched this and you enjoyed it, I'm not telling you not to watch it. I'm just saying I personally got way too caught up on how much of an asshole he was and I couldn't move past it. But if you were able to move past it, if you enjoyed it, if you had a ton of fun watching it, it is getting a second season. It should be fun. You should have a fun time with it. So look forward to that. If you're interested in it, if you haven't watched it yet, this is just my PSA. The more powerful he becomes, the higher his piece of shit meter becomes. It becomes less empathetic as the series goes on. Oh man. Okay. So now that we have made it through all of these series, YouTube Snack Lady said this wasn't good, so I won't watch it. No! That's always my fear with this, is I don't ever want to make people feel bad. Like, if you've watched something and you enjoyed it, that's great. You got something out of that. This is just me suggesting things that I've really enjoyed, just in case you all will have fun with them too, because I think that that's good. Oh, but yeah. Okay, so we've moved past a lot of our more like serious entries onto this list. It's now time for our favorite section. Let's go. It's time for the Kuso-Anime. This is the anime series that are difficult to recommend normally, but are deeply hysterical, especially if you have some alcohol. That increases the enjoyment tremendously of these shows. So let's hop into it. The Kuso-Anime time. Let's go. Alrighty. So I've talked about this in the last Kuso-Anime section, and it's back again. It's Shangri-La Frontier. This got a second core, and boy howdy, it was great. It was extremely good. They managed to have some of the best, like, they had some really good fight animation for a couple of episodes, and this is actually great if you're not caught up on the series right now. You can just like binge through all of them. When I was watching this live, it was so painful because I had to wait between weeks in order to get caught up, but you can just binge it. You can just watch the whole thing and it'll be great. So yeah, really, really fantastic. The entire Weathermon fight was super, super good. It was extremely fun, had a great time, and had a really poignant conclusion. So big fan of all of it. I, at the end of this, found myself desperately wanting more, which I did not expect. This has been a truly fantastic, like, turn your brain off, just have a bunch of fun watching this fantastic animation and very silly characters. And guess what I found out? They have a season 2, but it's confirmed for this year. It's confirmed for this fall. These crazy bastards got cleared for 2 entire seasons of this, and they've been holding on to this in their back pocket. They've been making this in secret this whole time. They must have made this all concurrently. Like, what this has to mean is that the original, like, 2 core from season 1 was all put together, like, months ago. Which, by the way, is fantastic. That's what they should be doing. That should all be done, like, long in advance. But now, in 2 seasons, we're going to have more. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, or if you just want a show that's perfect for turning your brain off and having fun, I personally would suggest Shangri-La Frontier. It's absolutely fantastic. The legendary split 4 core. Yeah, that's the thing. It pretty much is at this point, because there's only a 2 season gap between them. Because we'll have spring and summer seasons, and then it'll be back in the fall. Oh, I'm so excited. I get to see more of Emil-chan, and I'm very excited for that because she's wonderful. And yes, this anime does have, just a very good understanding of like how real people are with games, because it turns out that sometimes even if you're like a small girl in real life, you want to play a big armored man in the game. And yes, there is a character who is exactly like that in this. That is fantastic. Big fan. Okay, so the other Kuso-Anime that I want to suggest, which I briefly mentioned during the last seasonal anime, and I'm so sorry. At the time, I think I unfairly dunked on slime fans. My apologies. I called this the better slime. And my apologies for those of you who like slime. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's totally okay. I just personally liked this one a lot more. But yeah, let me talk about Tsukimichi, because I haven't actually explained what this show is, and I think that it's absolutely fantastic. You're right. Keep spitting. Past Yumie get dunked on. Man, here's the thing. I always feel so bad, like, saying stuff like that after the fact. I thought about that so much. I'm like, oh, I was probably too harsh there. I shouldn't have said that. But anyway, I did enjoy this much more than I enjoyed slime. And I'm going to talk about why, because I think that some of you folks might be interested in this too. Okay, so Tsukimichi. It is an isekai. I know, the dreaded isekai, the genre that is just every anime nowadays. But I did enjoy this as an isekai because I thought that the twist was rather fun. I thought that it was a very good opportunity for good world building and just enjoying themselves with this. Channel your inner Miyu, dunk on him. They don't know what you're talking about. Miyu is nothing like me. An alternate Yumi. No, I can't invite her back into this realm. Oh, man. But, okay, back to Tsukimichi. So this is like the best kind of pitch summary I can give of what this show is. So the series starts by our main character is summoned to another world. However, this world is ruled by an extremely callous, capricious goddess who values beauty above all else. And as soon as she looks upon our just remarkably ordinary looking main character, Makoto, he's totally average looking. There's nothing wrong with him. He's just like super normal looking. But that is terrible in her eyes. As soon as she looks upon him, she's like, oh, I have made a mistake. You are not human. This is disgusting. Get out of my sight. And she, instead of giving him a blessing, she gives him a curse. I guess it's a blessing of sorts, but she curses him with the ability to only speak demi-human languages. So, what that means practically is that he cannot actually speak to other humans. He can only speak to demi-humans. And what that results in is the entirety of Tsukimichi is about him befriending and creating a powerful society with demi-humans who are largely either discriminated against or they are driven out of regular society. And he ends up trying to create more of a society with the demi-humans. There are so many super fun characters in this. I absolutely adore them. There's a lot of really fun ideas in here, which is great. But yeah, they come together, and as they're trying to make a life for themselves here, they also have to fight off the forces of the goddess, who does not want him to continue living. She has quite a vendetta against him. She's very upset that he was summoned here. So yeah, it's super fantastic. Wonderful Kuso-Anime series. I will say, as many Kuso-Anime tend to be, it definitely has some ups and downs. There's some parts of the series that, like, I feel like they could have picked up the pacing a little bit. Season 2 in particular has some episodes that are a little bit longer than I think they need to be. Like, they could have jumped to certain plot points a little faster, but they also get 2 core, so they're gonna have fun with it. They're gonna introduce as many characters as they can and kind of gear up for what's coming up next here. But yeah, no, that's the thing, right? Like the goddess already cursed him. And then she's on top of that. She's like, you know, that wasn't enough. You're doing pretty well down there. I don't like that. I need to get rid of you. So, yeah, anyway, it's fantastic. There's a bunch of things too. I don't want to get into like crazy spoilers, but they do mention this pretty early on that you find out he is not the only person who has been summoned to this alternate world. And as he starts to come into contact with these other people, it's interesting to see kind of where things go, like how they have been trying to adjust in this world versus what he has been doing. So yeah, it's good. God, yeah. Oh, the second OP of the season is great. I actually really like the OP for this show. I think it's very fun. It is extremely fun. Oh, and that's a great shout out. As always, if you like any of these series, pretty much all of them are based on either manga or light novels. So supporting the original series is always, always fantastic. Yeah, so that is an excellent point. Excellent point, Eva Wizard. So the thing that I liked about this compared to Slime is I feel like it did some of the world building really well. I felt like a lot of it was very believable, that like some of these societies were, and some of these demi-humans were really ostracized. I kind of felt like with Slime, part of my issue with Slime did come down to I didn't really like the main character a whole bunch, whereas I really like the main character of this series. I kind of just feel bad for him. He's trying to do the best that he can, whereas the main character of Slime is a meme for a reason, right? Like he's there's a bunch of memes about him, like as he dies in his last world, he's like, oh, wipe my hard drive, oh. And no one can see what was on it, and you're like, oh. I actually watched a lot of Slime. I think I made it through most of season 2 because I wanted to give it a fair shot. But I just overall, I didn't like some of the world building quite as much. Some of the characters I felt like I liked some of the characters, and some of the others I was a little bit less of a fan of. So I think, if I'm being honest, it's a bit of a personal preference. And also just coming down to, fundamentally, I like the main character of this series a lot more. And that was kind of a big deal for me, because you're going to spend a lot of time with the main character. And if I didn't enjoy the main character from Slime, that already like puts it down on a level I'm not as much of a fan of. So, oh. Here's the thing, y'all are right. It is extremely valid as a last wish, but it's also like immediately setting you up for like, oh. And I don't know, for me, it was kind of downhill from there with the main character. I was less of a fan of him as the series went on. But yeah, no, it is definitely understandable, extremely understandable. Oh my word. But yeah, and no, I guess that is a fair point. I think that the thing that Slime does have over this show is that the action is really good. I think they do a really good job with the choreography and the fight animation. But I don't know, I really like this series too. And that's the thing, if you liked if you liked Slime, I almost said if you liked Slam, you could like Slam too. Slam Dunk is a legendary series. But if you like Slime, I have a suspicion you'll enjoy this as well. But by that same token, if you struggled with Slime, I think you might have a better time with this one. Come on and slam. And welcome to the jam. Oh, man. Oh, my word. But yeah, anyway, I enjoy this series a lot. I think that this is a super fun Kuso-Anime. My overall evaluation of this is that this is best enjoyed with at least 2 drinks. I think that having some alcohol is increases your enjoyment quite a bit. You don't have to, though. You don't have to consume alcohol. It's still very fun. If you do crank up the speed a little bit, that's also extremely fun. 1.25 to 1.5, I think, is the sweet spot on this one. As far as best girl, this one was really hard. I wanted to put Emma-chan. She's really good, but I think I need to be true to my heart. I love Tomoe. Tomoe is like the reason that I continued watching this. I love Tomoe so much. And Mini Tomoe, very, very good. She is just a bundle of, like, I don't know, charisma, hilarity, madness. It's all fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Big fan of her. Yes, Dragon Girl peak, indeed. Best boy, it's undisputed. It's Shiki. I'm sorry. There is no contest. It's just Shiki. He's perfect. He's just perfect. Absolutely perfect. I also love the voice that his voice actor gave him. Like when he talks, he speaks with like, oh, it's such a gentle voice. Yes, of course I can help you. Oh, it's so good. I love him. Anytime he's on screen, I'm just like, Shiki, you're the best. You're the best. Exactly, yes. Would give Shiki cream hot pot 10 out of 10. Give him some mayonnaise too. He'll just throw it all in there. Oh my god. He's wonderful. I love him. Is this the picture of him with Yumie vision? Oh my god, that's true. I guess this is. It's just the perfect picture. It's just Shiki. He's just perfect. He's wonderful. I love him. And with that, we have finished winter 2024. Just as a quick summary of everything we talked about, if you are interested in spectacular drama, as well as great animation and very intriguing storytelling, I would highly suggest watching Frieren, Apothecary Diaries, or Dungeon Meshi. Dungeon Meshi will be continuing this season, so it's getting its second core right now. So if you're watching Dungeon Meshi, you can keep watching it, you'll get more. If you are interested in romance, I would highly suggest Bokuyaba. It's super, super good. And A Sign of Affection is also really adorable. Fantastic. You had me at Frieren. Excellent. Perfect. This is ideal. You all should watch Frieren. It's very good. Space Jam 1 Watchalong 1. Do you know what's crazy? With how much of a meme that is, I've actually never watched Space Jam. I can't believe it, because that was like from my time. That's something that I should have watched as a child, but I didn't. I don't know. They just didn't have it in the underground. At some point we might watch it as a meme. I think that would be funny. I know, right? I kind of can't believe it. But yeah, no, we could watch that at some point. Oh my god! Yumie trapped in a mimic chest emote? I'm gonna write that down. God, I have too many emote ideas. I have so many I need to do. I'm gonna add that anyway. Okay, emote ideas. Yumie. Frieren. Mimic. Spectacular. Spectacular. You know, that's the thing. I can't believe that I haven't watched it. I think that they just didn't have any copies of it in the underground. Otherwise, I would have watched it a bunch. I just watched a bunch of Disney and, technically I had, in the United States, there's, something called PBS, the Public Broadcasting Service. They have a bunch of like really fun shows when I was a kid, and I watched a bunch of those. And then for a brief period of time, I actually watched a little bit of Nickelodeon. So thankfully that was when Avatar: The Last Airbender was first broadcasting. So I got to watch that live. That was when I was in, God, when was that? I think I was in elementary school. Oh no, I might have been in middle school. I don't remember. It was like right around there. Oh my god, Arthur was great. Oh god, there was so many. There was Redwall. I was a really big fan of Redwall. That was like probably too scary for how young I was when I watched Redwall, because like a bunch of the animals die. Like it gets pretty intense for parts of it, but yeah, no, it was good. It was very good. Oh man. But yeah, okay. At some point we'll watch Space Jam. Oh god, Uematsu, no. Is this an aging stream now? I guess it is. I guess it is. Oh god. Okay, I have to get this back together. Get this back on track. Okay, Moving on, if you want anime that is a spectacle, this is something that is very fun to watch. Turn your brain off, just enjoy what you're watching in front of you. You can watch Shangri-La Frontier. Tsukimichi was also really fun. And then, as I mentioned before, even though I didn't personally enjoy it, Solo Leveling is like another, like, turn your brain off, just enjoy the spectacle, just be prepared that the main character is a bit of an asshole. Oh, man. And then, if you're looking for comedies, Mashle and 'Tis Time for Torture Princess are very, very good. So, yeah, I think that y'all will enjoy these. I would highly recommend all of them. So, yeah. Whew. Well, with that, we've gotten through our winter 2024 anime. And that means it's time to talk about the upcoming spring 2024 anime, and there are a bunch. Oh, I'm excited. I'm so excited for all the things coming out this season. Okay, are y'all ready? Let's hop into this. The first thing I'm going to talk about is not surprising to anyone. Not surprising to anyone who has seen much of my content. But the first thing to talk about is the Blue Archive anime. Blue Archive is actually getting an anime. It is broadcasting right now. A bunch of you watched that live or as a VOD as my modem betrayed me. Crashed my stream and I had to order a new one. But hopefully future watch-alongs won't be nearly as bad. So what is this series? I couldn't have seen this coming. But yeah, no, it's actually getting an anime. The first episode was really cute. Oh my god. Also, can we talk about the OP? The OP goes super hard. I've rewatched it so many times. It's so good. There's more things that I keep catching every time I watch it. And that's like, oh, that's such a good feeling. I feel like OPs that give you a bunch to like look over and think about and get a bunch of screenshots. That is all absolutely fantastic. So, yeah, it's very, very good. Oh my god, yeah, that's the thing. Actually seeing the Abydos desertification was kind of shocking. Like, there's just a lot of sand that is everywhere there. And, yeah, it kind of puts a lot of things into perspective. It's something that we only got to see, like, small snippets of in the main story up to this point. So actually seeing that animated is incredible. Oh my god. Okay, the one unfortunate thing about this series is that finding it outside of Asia is difficult. More difficult than it needs to be. I would very much like for some other licensors to pick this up, because right now, getting a hold of the episodes to watch is not only difficult, but the subtitle quality is not as good as it could be. Thankfully, that does make it very memeable. I'll Revenge will forever be the funniest way to translate one of those lines. But yeah, my hope is that this will change because I've been keeping an eye on the official Twitter and they do keep getting additional licensors for things and distributors. So my sincerest hope is that this will actually get picked up by something like High Dive, or, you know, maybe it would actually appear on Amazon Prime and Hulu like they said it would, but I'm guessing that's only in Japan for some reason. I don't know why they would do that. There's a rather large global audience that wants to watch this without having to jump through a bunch of hoops. Sarika aim. Yeah, no, there's some great lines in there. Absolutely hilarious lines. But you know, we got through it. It made for a funny time, but I would really love to see this actually get picked up by like a Western-facing distributor and like get some subtitles that are slightly more understandable. Because right now things are like easy enough to understand, but I think the subtitle quality being improved would help a lot. especially for folks who aren't familiar with the series, because a lot of you folks are familiar with the series, but for people who aren't, that's kind of a big hurdle to jump over if the subtitles are a little borked. So yeah. Nah, I want memeable subtitles. Oh god. Man, oh my god, that... Oh, I kind of went on a rant about that, actually, the Svanu. I went on a rant to Bear about that. They're giving, for global players, every Sunday we're getting rewards in order to, like, celebrate the anime. But, like, it's really hard to watch it if you're outside of Asia. So, I don't know. I almost wonder if that, like, I don't know how that slipped through the cracks. I don't know how that got borked, but... Anyway, you know, the Blue Archive anime is firsthand showing us why you should never have the auto battle button turned on. Always make sure that you're actually selecting those EX skills. It's very important. Very important. But thankfully there are still ways to watch it. You just have to jump through a couple extra hoops. And what has been animated so far, I've absolutely loved. It looks like they're going to be adapting Volume 1. So that's focusing around the Foreclosure Task Force, which is great because, especially based on the OP and some other things that have been mentioned, that does guarantee that we will be seeing my beloved Hifumi and Paroro-sama, so that's exciting. We should get Problem Solver 68. We should actually get to see the Prefect team as well. I get to see Hina! I'm so excited! I'm so excited! It's gonna be great. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. I'm very excited. So look forward to that. I sincerely hope that some more distributors pick it up because I think it deserves it. I think that would be really sad if more people can't watch it or struggle to watch it because it's very difficult to find places to do so. So yeah. Okay. Blue Archive. Blue Archive over. I knew I was gonna ramble about that for a while, and I got through it because we got a whole bunch of other things to talk about, and I'll be able to talk more about Blue Archive and future watch-alongs. Okay, next anime. Oh my god. Yuru Camp. It's camping time. It's campu. Okay, I love Yuru Camp so much. Season 3 is coming out this season. Yuru Camp is one of my favorite series of all time. Some of you have already been using the comfy Yumie emote, which is directly based off of this series. Yuru Camp was really important and like kind of formative for me for a long time because in the underground, despite everyone being snakes and like, you know, having the whole ectothermy thing, everyone insisted on like being really fashionable all the time and wearing like hardly any clothing. And so I was just cold. I was just cold all the time. And I was told that coats and scarves and other things would make you look frumpy, which is a stupid word, frumpy. But they're like, oh, it'll make you look bad. It'll like obscure your form and it'll look ugly. And so I just like didn't wear comfy things for a really long time. And then I watched Yuru Camp when I was out of the underground, and they all looked so adorable, and they all were just having such a great time existing. And I know that seems like a silly thing to say, but for a young, like, early 20s snack, I don't know, that was really nice to actually see, like, people wearing just whatever they wanted to wear, because that was, like, a thing that was reinforced pretty heavily in the underground, was, like, you have to look and act a certain way. Then just seeing people, like, bundled up however they want, and they've got adorable hats, and they've got adorable ponchos, anyway, I now own entirely too many sweaters and ponchos and scarves and hats. I love it so much. It's so good. I have so many sweater dresses. It's been wonderful. So, yeah. Frumpy, what alien language is this? Apparently it's the language of the snacks in the underground. But yeah, let this be a PSA. Never let people tell you how to dress. Just enjoy yourself. Be as comfy as you want. In addition to this series completely transforming my wardrobe, it's also just really really, really relaxing to watch. It's so nice to just kick back with one of these episodes. The music is incredible. The voice acting is so nice. All of the scenery is just fantastic. It makes you feel like you're there, just like hanging out, enjoying yourself, taking it easy for a little bit. There's very few shows that I have on my list of like, if I'm ever feeling bad or stressed or like I need to take a load off for a little bit. YoruCamp is one of those shows. It's like at the top of that list. I can just turn this on and I just feel better afterwards. I feel more relaxed and just, oh, it's great. It's so, so good. Oh man. Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Oh my God, exactly. It is one of those shows that you can watch no matter what mood you're in. It's just good. It's just a good series. So yeah. It has returned for season 3, which is wonderful. One thing I will note for those of you who have watched seasons 1 and 2, you will immediately notice there's a very slight change that has happened with the character designs. That's because it's a different studio and a different character designer. That being said, all of the music is still the same. It's still the same composer for all of this. All of the VAs are the same, and all the vibes are still good. Honestly, I wasn't sure what I was gonna think of the new art style, but like, I think it's great. It looks really nice. It actually looks very similar to the manga, which I think is really cool. So that's why the art is slightly different, but it's close enough that it's kind of negligible. So yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. I love it. So yeah, anyway, if you are interested in watching YoruCamp, if you have not watched it up to this point, here's what I would suggest doing, because there's a lot of like spin-offs and other things. If you just want to get caught up and watch like peak comfy and cozy, I would suggest watching seasons 1 and seasons 2. They are both spectacular. I got really emotional at the end of season 2. I actually would always get kind of emotional during the ED of season 1, because it was just like, oh, the music is so beautiful and it just feels so comforting. It's really nice. It's really, really good. One thing I will know, I do know it, but I'll note it. Excuse me. And one thing I will note, is that there's a couple of spin-offs. You can watch those if you want. They're really adorable, but you don't have to. You can just watch season 1 and season 2. In particular, there is a movie. And one thing I do want to note is that you don't need to watch the movie. In fact, I would say if you really like the regular YoruCamp, there is a chance you might not like the movie. It's actually an anime original, so it's not based off of any of the original source material. It's something that they made just for the anime. They made a whole movie about like a what if, with all of the girls being grown up as adults. Actually, I haven't finished it because it stressed me out. The thing that I come to YoruCamp for is to relax, and like the movie ends up like having the girls being adults with like really sad real life problems with like shitty jobs and like having conflict between them. And I know that sounds kind of silly because like of course people are going to have shitty jobs, people are going to have conflict, but yeah, no, exactly, it was too existentially horrifying. And so all of the like cozy, comfy feelings were kind of gone. It's not like they're not there, but it's a different beast. And also, from a personal perspective, Nadarin is one of my OTPs, and they were not together in the movie, and so I was immediately like, no. This is not canon. I refuse to believe this. This is anime only. So anyway, I need them to be together, y'all. They need to be together. This is important. I need Nadeshiko and Rin to be a thing. This is very important to me. and they weren't together in the movie. And I'm like, this is bullshit. This isn't real. Now, if they end up not getting together, that's fine. I'll respect it, and that's fine. But since it's an anime original, you know, it's not... It's not necessarily canon, so I don't need to, you know, worry about it. You know, it's actually been sad. I know some of y'all were asking if I had been able to go camping as a result of this series, and I haven't yet. It's something that Bear and I have talked about because Bear is into photography, and we've talked about like maybe taking some day trips to go places and take pictures, which I think would be super fun because like there's some really nice aspects of camping. Unfortunately, the place that I live is not the most ideal for it. There's a bunch of mosquitoes all the time when it's actually warm enough to camp. And then there's the whole like tornado rain thing. So if there's like a sunny day at some point, maybe in like the fall, maybe we could do something. Yeah, no. Okay, here's the thing. Bear actually only recently picked up like a good camera. We had just been making do with like our phones up to this point, but I promise you there will be some more Bear photography. The poor man has been so busy with work projects. I feel so bad. There's been so many like food things that he's wanted to do that he hasn't been able to. He's been dying, but thankfully his work stuff is done. He's finished a lot of that. So hopefully more food and some fun pictures to share with y'all. Oh God, cause yeah, I know some of y'all, I know Sky, you're into photography too. Take some damn good pictures. Some of y'all are real talented. I always love looking through what you folks post in the Discord server. It makes me really hungry when you post food pictures, and it's really beautiful to see the pictures you take of scenery and things, so that's very good. Instead of camping, can you rent? Oh God, I probably could rent a camper RV, but here's the thing. They're kind of expensive, and also everyone does camper RVs. Like, I have been in more camper RVs than I think is reasonable. I actually don't like them. They're really big and unwieldy, and no one knows how to drive them correctly, so like, it's terrifying. I feel like if you're inside the RV, I don't feel safe. Because you're like, everyone around me is also in an RV, and none of them know how to drive the RV, and I swear someone is gonna back into me, or like sideswipe me, or like go entirely too fast on the freeway. That's so funny though, I hadn't thought about that. I feel like that's like an aggressively American thing, is camper RVs. Do you all have that up in Canada too? I know that camper RVs are also, like, smaller camper RVs are a thing that are, I know that in the UK, I've seen folks who will go camping with that. The RVs that they have in the United States are, like, entirely too big. It's like a mini, like... It's like a mini house on wheels. You're just like cruising down the freeway in this thing that it shouldn't be street legal. They're too big. They're these enormous cars that have like, oh, you've got like a little fridge inside and a bathroom and you've got a place to sleep and all this. Yeah, exactly. It's literally a mobile home. 4 miles per gallon. Oh my God, that's true. It probably does get that mileage. Okay, that's what I thought. In the UK, you all have caravans. Okay, that was what I had understood as well. I don't, mercifully, I think that you all have smaller caravans, which is good. I don't know, I think the RVs that they drive in the United States are kind of terrifying. They're very terrifying. They're too big. Oh, I don't think I've actually talked about this before. Okay, tangent time. Quick tangent time. Have I talked with you all about, there is a really big thing that happens in the area that I live. It's called a state fair. And state fairs, depending on which state you're actually in, they either range from being like this kind of like modest affair with like people will bring some livestock and they'll have booze and they'll have hot dogs and burgers and stuff. And like you get to hang out and I don't know, just kind of walk around eating greasy food, to like absolutely enormous, like stupidly big state fairs. I happen to live like within like, I don't know, it's not like terribly far away as far as like I'm like in the state that it happens, but there's an enormous state fair in my neck of the woods, and it's kind of ridiculous. It's kind of absurd. Oh my gosh, also, y'all are so sweet. I've been reading some of the messages y'all have been sending. I'm really glad that y'all, backtracking to Blue Archive, I'm really happy y'all enjoy my event streams. It's very kind of you. That makes me really happy to hear. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate that a lot. I know some of y'all have sent some super chats too. I'm gonna read those at the end because I got too distracted talking about anime. And now I'm gonna get distracted talking about state fairs. Okay, we're circling back. The tangent is finally converging back. Okay, state fairs. So in the United States, there's a couple of state fairs that are frighteningly large, and I happen to live in a state that has one of those. It is stupid big. It's like, it feels like the equivalent of like a holiday. Like, and it goes on for a couple of weeks, and we have people from like other states that come to our state. Like, we've had Taylor Swift perform at this state fair. Like, this is a big deal, y'all. This is like an enormous production. It's huge. Like, the actual state fair park is enormous. They get live musical guests. They have like crazy competitions that end up happening. Yeah, so state fairs are just like a big excuse for people to come together to have entirely too greasy of food, walk around, drink alcohol, and like look at livestock. And I guess concerts too. In my neck of the woods, you can pick up, they have like buckets of cookies. Like, you can just get a bucket, an actual bucket, and it will have cookies filled to the brim. The cookies are spilling out. Like, you pick up the bucket and cookies fall out of it. It's ridiculous. So they also, oh God, they also really like making deep fried stuff. So there's like deep fried Oreos. They just take the Oreos and they dip them in batter, and then they deep fry them. I think they're okay. They weren't as wonderful as I had hoped because it was really hot when I had them. Yeah, no, I feel like, oh my God, some of these state fairs, God, that's true. Rodeos are like that too. That's like the closest equivalent that we have up in the north, is that our state fairs are kind of ridiculous. So yeah, you just get a bunch of greasy food. You get a bunch of deep fried things. A bunch of places will sell deep fried cheese curds. So it's cheese curds that, again, they dip in batter and then they deep fry them. So like your poor digestive tract is just ruined at the end of this because you just go around having a ton of deep fried food. Everything is greasy. Everything is deep fried. You have cookies that are falling out of a bucket. You have this enormous thing of beer in one of your hands. You're like trying to drink. It is absolutely ridiculous. I think in the United States, the appeal of something like a state fair is that in a lot of places, unlike other parts of the world, it is illegal to drink and walk around unless you're on like private property. So you can't like have a drink and like walk down the street with it. You have to like only have it in special places, which, by the way, that's so stupid. I lived in Germany for a while, and oh God, it was so nice. You could just walk around. Like I just have like, I don't know, I'd have like a cider in my hand and I could just slither along, just drinking my cider, being like, yeah, this is great. The only time that I had to like put it down was when I tried to get on a bus and they're like, no open beverages. We don't want you spilling that. And I'm like, very fair, busman, thank you. And so then I just continued to drink and just slithered the long way back. I don't know, that's how it should be. You should be able to just walk around with booze. But anyway, you can't do that in the United States. So, as a result, any excuse that people have to like be out and about with booze, like doing the thing that they should be able to do anyway, people will take advantage of that. So that is the main appeal of state fairs, at least for adults, is it is an excuse to go and have a bunch of greasy food. Maybe you'll go and watch a concert. Maybe you'll go watch Taylor Swift or some other really big name, and you'll just have booze. You just get to walk around with it, or slither around in my case, so. Oh God. But yeah, anyway, that was my tangent about state fairs. So there you have it. It is another aggressively American thing. Deep fried food, an excuse to actually drink in public, and getting in an RV. Oh, that was the whole reason I brought this up. That was why. Okay. So when this happens, when this state fair happens, because it's so enormous, we get people from other states that will come to it. It's like everyone is converging. And they're all converging together. And everyone is driving an RV because they're like, oh, well, we're coming from out of state. Let's just bring the RV because we can park somewhere and we can like camp for a little bit. So what this means is that there's so many RVs and they're all coming in at the same time. At the same damn time, and you can't get anywhere. It's just impossible. It's gridlocked. You can't drive anywhere. If you try to go downtown, it's just a mess. It's awful. You know, the convergence. They're just coming together. Yeah, no, you thought the tangent was over, but the tangent, it's come back again. This is important. I have to impress upon you how stupid this all is. So, like, oh my God. It's just for like 3 weeks in August, my life will just be like, okay, I'm just not going downtown at all because it will be impossible. There will be RVs everywhere. There will be entirely too many cars, both from people in my state and out of my state who have all come here at the same time. Everything changed when the RVs attacked. That's exactly true, though. It did all change. It was all over for 3 weeks. So anyway, so that's my story about the state fair. Yep, that was the tangent that started talking about RVs. And now you know there are some absurdly large state fairs that exist in the United States, and people go and get drunk at them, so... Okay, I'm back on track. I promise I'm back on track. That was like a 20-minute tangent, but it's fine. That's normal. That's extremely normal. Okay, coming back to the anime review. Let's go. Okay, let's talk about the next exciting thing that's happening this season. Oh my God, it's Spice and Wolf. I can't believe this, but they're remaking it. This is kind of incredible. So Spice and Wolf, for those of you who aren't familiar, this is a legendary series. This is considered to be a classic. The original anime is from 2008. I had to look that up twice because I couldn't believe it. I can't believe it's been that long. But yeah, this originally came out in 2008. Yeah, actually, that's a very fair point. That was the same, I think that was the same year that Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood came out. That's kind of wild. So yeah, you know, it's a classic. It's an oldie but a goodie. Oh God, that was 16 years ago. Oh God. Okay. I'm holding it together. Okay, so anyway, this came out 16 years ago, and it is a really good series. Y'all, there is a reason this is a classic. It is spectacular. It ends up talking about not just like some really interesting politics of a medieval like fantasy world, while also having this delightful duo of a merchant and a wise wolf. But it also focuses on economics. It focuses on conflicts between old gods and new religion. It focuses on character drama and character growth. It's really, really good. It's one of the few series that I can pretty confidently say that watching it actively made me smarter. It's one of those series that does a really good job of teaching you a lot of things. So if there's certain things about economics that you're not quite as familiar with, the original series does a really good job of explaining a bunch of concepts to you. Currency exchanges, stock markets, trading philosophies. There's a lot that's in there, and it's extremely fantastic. And after 16 years, this is getting a full remake. They're starting from scratch. They wanted to give another shot at it. So yeah, I think that that's pretty exciting because I think this series is really good, but it's old enough that I think some folks might not have seen it. And so it actually getting a remake, I think, is fantastic. And so far in the first 2 episodes, visually, it looks really good. Like, wow, big upgrades in a lot of areas. In particular, Holo, the wise wolf. Ooh, they made her look great. She's one of the OG, fantastic waifus. Love her. Oh, they made her look so good. I was very happy about that. So that's fantastic. She looks great. Also, the voice actors are the same. So Holo and Kraft Lawrence have the same voice actors, which is great. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. But yeah, big fan. They made her look real good. Big fan of that. However, I am going to go over a couple of differences because there's actually some important differences between the two, and I actually think they're both worth watching for different reasons. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what the original did that I think is still really good even after 16 years. And let's talk about what the new one is doing, just so that you can know and like decide kind of what you want to do, if you want to watch both of them, or if you just want to watch the newer one or just the older one. We'll kind of go from there. Also, welcome, y'all. Welcome if you're just joining. We're talking about Spice and Wolf. Fantastic timing. Okay, so let's talk about the original Spice and Wolf. So even though obviously it's 16 years old, some of the animation doesn't quite hold up as well. Like obviously Holo looks really good in the newer anime, but there is still a lot of time and care that was put into the character designs, the world building, to the point where it feels like every episode, every time that the characters are moving through a different town or talking with different people, it feels like a lived-in world. There was a lot of careful thought that went into this. Also, as I mentioned before, they focus heavily on trading, economics, and other things that I think are well worth diving into. I do think, obviously, that can be intimidating to have a lot of this thrown at you, especially with how much time they devote to it. But I think that it's perfect for that. I think it does a really good job of actually approaching complicated subjects and making them approachable, which is great. That's fantastic. I think that it says something about a series that it can both drag you into a world and show you like, wow, these people are living like interesting lives in these ways. These people that they end up meeting for only brief periods of time, I don't know, they don't feel like side characters. They feel like, oh, this is a town. This is actually a town of people that they're interacting with. And I think that's good. I think that's fantastic. Oh, it's great. In addition, I don't know if this is a controversial take. I think for some folks, it might be, but for me personally, in the original anime, there is an anime original character who is named Chloe. I think she's really good. I actually think it was a really smart decision to make her a character. She kind of filled the role of another character, while also becoming a really good foil to Holo. I don't know. I know she's anime original, but like, I think she fits in super well, to the point when I first found out that she was anime original, I was shocked. I think that she just feels like she always belonged in the series, and I think it's a shame that, like, I don't think is going to show up in the new one, for a couple of reasons, and I think that's too bad. I actually think she was a really good addition, especially early in the series. She provided a lot of really good life to, like, some of the early places they visit, and I don't know, I thought that she was a good addition, and I'm sad to see her gone. On top of this, now that I've watched the first 2 episodes of the new series, as well as gone back and, like, did a comparison to the old series, even though the technical animation is obviously much, much better, much, much better, in the new version, the original has a lot of discipline. I think that its fundamentals with blocking and direction are really, really good. There's so many shots that work really well and feel dynamic in the original. Whereas in the newer one, the shots are very similar, but they end up just kind of showing off that, like, the animation looks good as opposed to, like, the actual blocking being good. And blocking is like how the characters are situated, like, on the screen, like how you're actually looking and viewing a scene. I think that they're really good in the original and they're good in the new one, but I do think that the original is still very, very good. And yeah, one other thing that I have to bring up, which is a tragedy, is that the original score of the original anime is really, really good. It's by Yuji Yoshino, who tragically has not done any other anime work ever since Spice and Wolf, and so he was not involved in the new anime. Now, that being said, the composer who is involved in the new anime is spectacular. It's the composer from Made in Abyss, and he does incredible work, just stunning work. But something that was really good about the original is that the score from the original 2008 Spice and Wolf, it had this really wonderful charm to it. It was almost like eerie in some places. They used a lot of classical, almost medieval sounding instruments. And it just, the best way that I can describe it is it was a vibe. It's just a vibe. It's great. It's really good to listen to. There's a couple of scenes that I actually think work better in the original than in the new version, specifically because of the music. In particular, the first meeting between Holo and Kraft Lawrence, I actually liked it better in the original because of the music. The way that the music swelled and, like, the instruments were really, they captured, like, mystique and worry and awe really well. I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I thought that the original score is so good, and I don't want to say that, no, thank you all, Kevin Penkin, yes. No, he is an absolutely phenomenal composer, and this is not to say that the new score isn't also fantastic. It's just unfortunate because the original score from the 2008 anime was just so perfect. It's kind of hard to live up to that. Like, regardless of how good of a composer you are, you're always going to be compared to it. And I feel bad because he's so good. Kevin Penkin is so good. But yeah, I personally, in my own opinion, preferred the music from the original one. I thought that it was quite good. Okay, so I've talked a lot about all the things that I like about the original, but there are a lot of things that are great about the remake. So for one thing, this new series has the benefit of 16 years. Spice and Wolf, like the original Spice and Wolf, is complete. There's actually a spin-off of it now. Both of them are in light novel form, and as a result, the writers and the director have a lot more knowledge about what's going to happen next, and so they can appropriately set up for that, which is very good. In particular, the starting scene that they have for the new Spice and Wolf anime is really good. It's very good. It's immediately something that fans of the light novels can get excited about because they're like, oh my gosh, I recognize these characters. But it also does a really good job framing the story. I think that that's a really great way to start it because it means that they know how they want to end the story. And I think that's good. I really like bookending stories like that, where you have like something set up at the beginning and then you can pay that off later, which I think is fantastic. But yeah, one thing, as I kind of mentioned before, so I don't know if Chloe will show up because she was anime original. They kind of gave like a nod to her existence, kind of in like the broader canon, but I suspect she won't show up because it does look like they're very intent on exactly adapting the light novels. Like this is a very big priority, is they're doing a remake, so they're trying to make it as faithful as possible to the original work. So yeah, one thing that I think that they're doing a really good job at so far is that they are really focusing on the interpersonal relationship of Holo and Craft. Again, they kind of know where they want to go, and so they're really honing in on this right now, which I think is really nice, because fundamentally, like, even though this is a story about economics, as crazy as that sounds, it is also a romance. And so it's nice to actually see them like focusing on this so quickly, because I do think that that takes a little bit to kind of ramp up in the original. So yeah, I think that's really nice. I think they've done a really good job with that so far. My only hope is that with all of this, it does make this series much more approachable to an average viewer, because they're focusing really heavily on their relationship with each other. They haven't really done too much with the economics so far. And I hope that when they do get to that point, when they do need to start doing some of the broader world building, my hope is that they will nail that. My hope is that that will be the case. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a really big fan of Spice and Wolf. It was a really important series for me as a young person, and I'm really excited to see it coming back. It's also just making me want to rewatch the original though. Because for me personally, at least so far, we've only got 2 episodes, so it's hard to judge. For me personally, I still prefer the 2008 version, just because I really liked Chloe as a character. I thought it was really clever and a good decision to have her, and I also loved how they just jumped into the economics. It was good. It was more dense, but it was good. But yeah, oh god, same. That's the thing with the original. I'm sure that when we come back to this, like when I do my next seasonal anime review, my hope is that this will be flipped. My hope is that I will come away from this new version being like, you know what? Even though Chloe isn't there, even though I didn't get to my economics nearly as quickly, this still was fantastic. So yeah, that's my hope, is that this will be flipped in the coming months. So yeah, I think it's gonna be good. Exactly, you gotta give it some time. This is hard. I love the original so much. But that's kind of to be expected, right? I love this original so much, and this new one is just getting its footing all figured out. So I'm sure that it'll get things moving here. So no, I don't want to let Chloe go. She exists for me. Chloe exists for me. Here's the thing: Holo is still obviously like undisputably best girl. Like, it's not even a question. Holo is best girl. But I liked Chloe. I thought that she was a really nice, I don't know, her as like a counterpart to Holo was really clever. I liked a lot of the ways that she interacted with the story and got things set up with, I don't know, like some of the first towns they interacted with. It was good. She's surreal to me. Is Chloe in the room with us? Listen. Listen, I believe in her. I believe that she's real. I just need to go back and rewatch this old anime again. Oh god. But anyway, okay, that is my explanation. This my explanation for Spice and Wolf. But yeah, hopefully that helps for those of you who aren't as familiar with it. And for those of you who are, hopefully my explanation of what some of the main differences are is helpful. I think overall, I'm just excited that we're getting more of it, because the original, we only ever got 2 seasons, because like the manga is still ongoing. Excuse me, it's not a manga, it's a light novel. The light novel was still going, but the light novel is complete now, and we've got a spin-off and all of that. So yeah, it's exciting that it's finally getting a remake, and my earnest hope is that that means they will finish it. And that would be great. Chloe, rip to a real one. Rest in peace, Chloe. You're real to me. You're real to me. Yeah, no, that's the thing. At least Chloe did look good. I got to see her for 3 seconds. She tackled Yare in the new one, and that was good. That made me happy, but then I was like, no, that means I don't get to see Chloe. That's it. Oh, it's a tragedy, but it's okay. It's all right. Okay, all right. Before we hop into the next one, it's been another hour. I think it's time for another hydration check, everyone. And then we're gonna hop into what I consider to be, at least for me personally, some series that I'm really excited about that I didn't know anything about prior to this season. So yeah, it's gonna be good. Chloe is as real as me, you. Oh, God. Oh, no, that's probably true, isn't it? Oh, God. Oh, no. Okay, we're having a drink. And then we'll talk about promising series from spring 2024. Oh my God, the Rated Oni channel? Chloe is as real as Seiya's voice? That's brutal. That's absolutely brutal. Oh my God. I believe someday Seiya will actually have a voice actress. Someday we'll actually get to hear her voice, damn it. I believe. Someday she'll be a playable character. Let me have my 3 tea party girls. Next on, let me have them. And then I can sit them at the table together. It'll be perfect. I have Mika, Nagisa, and Seiya together. It'll be great. Oh God. Okay. All right, let's hop into this, y'all. Promising series that I was pleasantly surprised by, and I'm excited to see how they progress. There will obviously, once we return back to this, it'll be nice to see if I still hold the same opinions about these shows, or if there were other shows I ended up finding. So yeah, it'll be good. But yeah, let's hop into our first one here. Okay, the first show to talk about. It is called A Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night. Or I've also seen the abbreviation as YoruKura, which I think is adorable. Okay, so first thing that I need to clarify, my biology heart needs to clarify this right off the bat. I do like this show so far, but I need to make this very clear. Let it be known, jellyfish can swim on their own. Like, they have nerves. They can do this. They have motor function. That's what do you think they're doing with their like that's them like trying to move. Like, obviously the currents in the ocean help them, but like they can move. They can move on their own. And more importantly, they can swim at night because they don't have a brain. They don't care. It doesn't matter whether it's daytime or not. They're just like moving like ambiently through the water. They can. Unbelievable. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So anyway, that's out of the way. Biology facts are done, regardless of whether the title of this anime is correct or not. This really took me by surprise. I didn't actually realize this, but this anime is, first of all, an original property, and it is being made to celebrate 50 years of the Doga Kobo studio. That's incredible. I didn't know they'd been around for 50 years. For those of you who aren't familiar, Doga Kobo is responsible for a lot of really good shows. Most recently, a lot of you will know them as the studio behind Oshi no Ko. So, you know, already extremely impressive resume. On top of that, they are also responsible for the wonderful one and only Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun. By the way, if you all haven't watched Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun, it's very good. It's extremely good. Big fan. Big fan. In addition to this, for those of you who are fans of cute girls doing cute things and moe shows, they are responsible for New Game, which is like extremely adorable. They're actually responsible for a lot of really adorable anime. Most recently, they did Saint Cecilia, which I have now based one of my emotes off of because I loved it. It was really, really good. So, yeah, big fan of their studio. But here's the thing, anime originals, obviously that takes a lot of work. Like, you have to come up with a script that you think is going to be compelling. It's not just, this is not to say that it's necessarily easier to adapt something, but like it's a different type of challenge to make something original. We've seen recently some other studios have made celebratory anniversary original anime that haven't gone over as well as they could have, which is sad. Rest in peace, Bones. They made Metallic Rouge. I'm a really big fan of Bones as a studio, but unfortunately Metallic Rouge just was not it. That was not... It had some problems. It had some pacing and plot and character problems. That is unfortunate. The last one, my apologies, it's really, really tiny. But that is Saint Cecilia and Pastor Lawrence. It's extremely adorable. Actually, if you want to hear me talk about that, I'm trying to remember which seasonal anime that was. Dang, I don't remember if that was the last one. I think that was the one before that. But yeah, needless to say, it's extremely adorable and I loved it. It was super, super good. But yeah, unfortunately Metallic Rouge, that was for the 30th anniversary of Bones as a studio. It did not go over super well. I feel bad for that. They tried their best. The animation looked really nice in a lot of places. The plot was a bit of a mess. Had some problems, unfortunately. So anyway, when I saw that this was their anniversary special, immediately my snack senses started tingling and I'm like, oh no, is it gonna be another Metallic Rouge? Oh no, I'm just recovering from that. That was just last season. But I was very pleasantly surprised. I actually think there's a lot of promise to this series. YoruKura, or Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night, it's about the struggle between creating art and having anxieties about being rejected for that. Whether that's people criticizing your art, whether that's people putting your art down because of something that you've done. And it's really good. It's trying to focus on it from the perspective of younger people too. I think that they're in high school. And that's an especially rough time because you have a lot of anxieties about fitting in and trying something that goes against the grain, or like experiencing really heavy criticism for things that you were really passionate about. It can be really easy to withdraw from something that you love because you're worried about that rejection. And yeah, I think they did a really good job with their pilot episode. I was really impressed. Yeah, it was a very solid first episode. Oh my god, it was Very good. Yeah, no, art versus fear of rejection to real. That was kind of my thought. They also, I don't know, they embrace the fact that social media has become such a force as well. It's kind of incredible, actually. Like, one of the first scenes in the first pilot episode, they have like a discussion between our main character, who, as far as I know, I think she's in high school, and her younger sister, who's in elementary school, and her younger sister is like on their version of TikTok and is like, yo, we gotta get you to go viral and all this. And I don't know, as like an old snack, I guess I shouldn't call myself old, but like, you know, as a snack in my 30s, that was like, I don't know, that was kind of shocking at first, because I'm like, oh my god, that's right. So many kids are like, not just on social media, but they're like even more tuned into it than adults are, and it's just kind of wild. It's kind of incredible. But yeah, I was a really big fan of the first episode. I want to see how the series progresses, because obviously it's gonna be important to see if Dogakobo can actually stick the landing. But yeah, I was a really big fan of their first episode. I thought it was really well done. It had a great, like, first emotional beat, and I felt really satisfied afterwards. So yeah, I would highly suggest, before I talk about the next one, I would highly suggest checking out Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night, even though that's not true. They can swim in the night, but whatever. We're just tossing that out the window. It was very pretty that I enjoyed the story. Oh god. Oh no, that's true. Here's the thing. I'm not old. Y'all aren't old either. It's okay. We're all just doing our best here. Oh man. Oh, I do want to talk about, here's the thing. The Bartender remake so far has been quite good. I wasn't going to talk about that this early, but I do want to talk about, there's a remake of another series from a long time ago called Bartender, which is essentially like a very elaborate advertisement for alcohol, but it's good. It's fun to watch. It has a lot of interesting things about mixology and drinking and other things. But yeah, there's a series called Bartender. And Bear and I have some plans for some member streams with that. So yeah, look forward to that. I'm really happy y'all brought that up, because that was something I was planning on talking about near the end of the season. But yeah, look forward to it. And if you are interested in it, it is, I think there's 2 episodes currently, and they were both very good. I think they did a good job. It was nice. But yes, so in addition to Bartender, which thank you all, look forward to some fun member stuff on that in the next couple months. Oh no, another alcohol stream. Well, we'll just have to wait for that. Okay, returning back, getting back on track again. Okay, I want to talk about a completely different series, a very different genre. I want to talk about Windbreaker. There's only 1 episode that's currently out, but I wanted to talk about it because I was very surprised that I enjoyed it. I actually don't generally like series that make delinquents the main focus. I think they have a really bad tendency to lean into some really bad toxic masculinity. Like, I don't know, there's some really bad tropes that always show up where people are just like, no, this is just how it's gotta be. I gotta punch. I'm not gonna work through my emotions. This is how I work through things. And I generally come away from a lot of shows about delinquents being like, man, that was not what I was hoping that was gonna be. It was just kind of people punching each other for a while and not working through anything. And that's never good. But I was very surprised because at least so far, the pilot episode of Windbreaker was very good. it somehow managed to exceed a lot of those tropes. It did a really good job of showing like what can push people into these situations, and what it feels like to be super ostracized and to feel like fighting back is your only option. It was really good. I was really surprised. It handled that really nicely. And it also showed a really nice side of that, of like how that doesn't have to just be your life. Like you can make choices. You can, there's things that you can do to like take some of these skills that you have gathered and actually apply them in different ways. And I think that's cool. So yeah, it also, for those of you who are a big fan of fight animation, that is the one big selling point of a lot of delinquent shows, is that they do tend to have really good fights, and this is no exception. The fights were very good. Extremely good, actually. I was very impressed with the choreography on a lot of those. So yeah, I thought that was really good. Yeah, exactly, Kaiser. That's exactly it. It shows you how they got there instead of just a generic fight the power trope. That is something that I find frustrating about a lot of delinquent shows, is it's just kind of abstractly like, well, I'm just mad all the time, so I'm just gonna punch. And like, that is not a good way to deal with things, nor is that necessarily indicative of like the reality of people's lives. Whereas I thought this did a really good job of showing like, ostensibly, this is a good kid. Like, he's a good kid who has been pushed to his limits in a lot of ways. And it's nice to see, like, there's like a whole emotional arc in the first episode. It's really good. I was really surprised. So anyway, I am super excited for more episodes since the first one was off to a really good start. If they keep up with this, I think this will end up being something that I can thoroughly recommend at the end of the season. So yeah, fingers crossed. It was really good. Oh, and then last but not least, something, well, it's not exactly last. We have another show to talk about after this, but the last of my big recommendations, just based on first episodes, I was blown away by the yokai next door, or Tonari no Yokai-San. I didn't really anticipate liking this show as much as I did. This was actually one of my favorite things that I've watched this season. That probably says a lot about me as a person. But listen, I'm going to sell you on why this show deserves attention and views. But yeah, this series is one that focuses on a world where yokai and humans coexist together. The series starts off with, you know, he does look like a palico, doesn't he? He does look like a palico. He is just a calico cat. But yeah, it starts off with a calico cat who has just turned 20 years old. His family thinks that, you know, he's getting up in years. They're gonna have to say goodbye to him. And then when the cat turns 20, he is reborn as a nekomata. He is reborn as a yokai with 2 tails. He can now talk, and he can, he's starting to learn how to use transformation. And it's really cool because it sets up this series as like, this is a world where A, this is possible. B, he has to fill out new paperwork. He has yokai insurance. He has to register as a new yokai. He has to learn the ropes from some of the neighbors in the area. And it's really charming. I don't know. It just feels like as the series, I don't know, this first episode anyway, as the first episode was going on, these just felt like real people. Like, there's literally just scenes of yokai just hanging out and talking with each other, and they just feel like actual people that you're listening to talk. They don't feel contrived. They feel just like an actual conversation is happening. I think that's a super impressive thing when your suspension of disbelief has reached a point where you're like, oh yeah, no, totally. Totally. That's a you know, a Tengu and a Nekomata talking with each other. Totally. You know, it's the thing, no matter the world, you can't escape the bureaucracy. Exactly. I don't know, that also, I laughed at that part, because I'm like, man, that's too real. If yokai live in this world, of course they'd have, like, yokai registration. Oh, you're a newly born yokai. Well, fill out your paperwork. Make sure you got your health insurance, because, you know, you don't have human parts, so we gotta make sure that you're seeing, like, a... someone who's registered as a yokai doctor. I don't know, it's kind of fantastic. That's super good. But yeah, I was extremely charmed by this. It was wonderful to watch. And the entire thing was great. There's a lot of emotion and heart in this. I actually got like a little teary-eyed at some parts. They did a really good job selling you that all of these people know each other super well and care a lot about each other. And I want to see what happens next to them because I've become extremely invested very quickly. Oh God. Oh man, that's true. No, thankfully, I'm close enough to a human that I have human insurance. I'm not sure if that's necessarily a good thing, because at least in my country, human insurance is no good. But yes, no, thankfully I didn't have to get SNEC insurance. Maybe SNEC taxes would have been better. They wouldn't have been the stuff that I have to deal with. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling about taxes. I hate doing taxes. I'm fine paying them. Paying them is fine. Doing them is dumb. I'm not gonna do this again. I'm gonna be talking about this for 20 minutes. But anyway, this show is great. The yokai next door, or Tonari no Yokai-San, is extremely fantastic, and I would recommend checking it out. I have a feeling this one is gonna be really good. And even if it's not, you'll have fun watching it for a little bit, so it'll be good. Oh, okay. So I talked about a lot of recommendations, but I promised you all something. I promised you all at the end of our Blue Archive watch-along that I was going to talk about a very particular show at the very end of this. And it's time. We've finally reached the point of this presentation where we can talk about the Legendarily Bad show. This is a new segment. We actually haven't had a show that is legendarily bad. It's definitely, there's been some series that have popped up that have not been good. There's some series that have not been, like, amazing. But this one is actually... We gotta talk about this one, y'all. This is kind of incredible. This is so bad that I need you all to witness this. This is very important. More slime talk. No, I already apologized for it. Just gonna drag me back there again. No, it's not slime, I promise. It's something different. That's the thing. It's the ultra Kuso-Anime. It's so Kuso that it is legendary. It's crazy. It's so bad. Oh my God. Okay. Let's talk about the banished former hero lives as he pleases. You know, I actually don't know. I don't know if this qualifies as so bad that it's good. I think it's close because I keep watching it. Like, I can't stop. I keep watching every new episode. Like there's something wrong with me. I need to see what they're going to do next. Yeah, I was gonna say, for you folks who have already seen this, I'm sure this is not a surprise. Okay, so let's talk about this anime, because dang, this is, let's talk about why this is on this list. So, this is one of the worst animated. Honestly, one of the worst written. I don't know how, like, the original light novel is, but, like, the anime adaptation is not doing it any favors. And worst produced series I have seen in a long time. I want you all to gaze upon this picture. I want you all to gaze upon this picture with your human eyes, or your SNEC eyes, whatever eyes you've got. I want you to look at this dog. This dog is supposed to be like a golem. It's supposed to be a golem that's attacking people. It is one of the derpiest things I have ever seen. do I have to? You know, that's fair. If you think that it would scorch your eyes, that's fine. You can look away. I'll try to describe it to you. It is a pile of jank. A pile of jank rocks that have been stitched together that sort of look like a dog, but it does not. It is not a dog. This thing moves in an unnatural way in the anime. It's kind of amazing. It's kind of incredible. Okay, so this series, first off, let's talk about the actual plot of the series. A lot more into the animation of this. It is an isekai within an isekai. And when I wrote that line, I realized that that's not exactly correct. It's technically just one isekai. He's only transported one world, but he's transported from a fantasy world to another fantasy world. So I guess just one isekai. But but still, it starts off this man, this protagonist. He was a hero in his past life. He was a Yusha. He was going and fighting the good fight. And then I don't know, he got betrayed or something and died. I'm not entirely 100% on that. They kind of breezed past that super fast. But anyway, he's reborn in a new world. And for some reason, this new world has like statuses or whatever, where they're like, oh, what abilities do you have? And he doesn't have a status. But it doesn't matter because he's retained his hero powers. So, like, he's still obscenely powerful, but everyone just doesn't know it. So he's banished from his family because his evil father and brother are like, you're useless to us. Be gone, fool. And they, like, kick him out of the house. And he's like, okay. Well, I guess I'm on my own now. And then he just goes and like all of his problems are immediately solved because he's got hero powers. So like immediately there's no stakes whatsoever. You're like, oh, okay, he's been kicked out. He might have to like rough it out for a little bit. Nope, not at all. He's just fine immediately. Immediately totally fine. Just like hack slashing his way into the princess's party, and he's just having a great time. He's just like, woo, I'm good, I'm set now. I got food, I got lodging, I got people, just immediately. So anyway, that's completely ridiculous. The stakes is my sanity. What do you mean? You know, Baneflow, that's a fair point. If we have stakes like that, the stakes are extremely high. Oh god. So yeah, okay. So we're already off to a bad start. Already off to a really bad start. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not even power fantasy. It's just like, wow, okay. He's just immediately OP. Got it. There are currently 3 episodes of this anime that have been released. I have watched every single one. And in all of these 3 episodes, you will see live with your eyes how these poor underpaid animators have tried to sell you on how super duper cool and powerful he is. Here is a shot. This is probably the most flattering shot of him in battle. They just have this shot that they like to recycle, which is just him in the sky with his hero sword, and then he's got all of the light swords are coming down. It's not quite as impressive. Yeah, I don't know. It was a morbid fascination. I couldn't pull my eyes away. I just kept watching this train wreck. It was for science, so that I could bring this back to you all. So in addition to them trying to make him look super cool, throughout these episodes, you'll see all the foes and the obstacles that he has to overcome. You remember the dog golems that we just saw? Well, here they are again. Copy pasted. Some of their front legs are just swapped on them, but it's the same doggos, and they're coming for you. I also loved this screenshot that I got, which is the actual subtitle from the show, which is "Death is closing in right before my eyes." These doggos, they're gonna try and attack someone, murder them. But you know, our powerful hero, he's gonna come in to save the day. You just know it. The dogs need lotion. You know, there's 3 of them, and they're all extremely powerful. Oh, the princess's party. What is she gonna do? She can't deal with them. Oh, but it's okay. The hero's here immediately, and it's fine. Also, I do love how they try to establish that there is an existing hero already in this world. Like, it's not him. It's not the main character. Like, someone else has the status of hero, and like he just clowns on them. Like he's just like so much better than them in every way, and you're just kind of sitting there wondering, why did we even need a hero? Was it just to show how powerful he was in comparison to the like canon hero of this world? I don't know. So in addition to these horrible doggos, I would also like to present I would like to present to the jury this photo as evidence of one of the many powerful foes that he has to overcome. You know, I have to say, I was reading some discussion of this online, and I think that folks are right. It is impressive that, like, on one hand, they didn't resort to CG. They actually drew this by hand, but I don't know if that was the right decision. It was probably a courageous decision, but this dragon, yeah, this is a dragon. This is a dragon that they fight in the first episode. Oh boy, you know, it's super scary and definitely gonna screw everybody up. It's there's actually so many amazing shots of this dragon. I had to pick and choose. I think this was my favorite one though, because its eyes are just like slightly too, I don't know, it looks like it's been crying for a while. Like its eyes are too puffy. Its face is a little weird. I'm not sure what's going on with like the scissor jaws. Like the way that those jaws would come together is kind of ridiculous. That's a bold strategy, Yumi. Let's see if it pays off. Spoiler alert, it didn't. Yeah, no, it's just, oh my god, this show is just incredible. Yeah, no, that's, oh my god, painful, that's true. The dragon is crying that it exists in this anime. Oh my god, that's so true. So yeah, anyway, I look forward to all sorts of scenes just like this one in this anime, because boy, boy, it only goes downhill from here. There is a sequence that happens in episode 3, because again, I did watch through to episode 3. I couldn't stop. I just had to keep seeing what they were going to do next. In episode 3, there is some of the most hilarious fight choreography that I have ever seen. What I am showing to you currently on screen is like an almost shot by shot. I think there's like one frame in between this, where this elf is trying to stab this wolf, and the wolf just kicks her. But in like the most ridiculous way. She's doing this anime charge forward. She's like, ah! And you're like, oh, did she strike it? Is it gonna be one of those things where like she struck it and then it'll show the wolf like collapsing or whatever? No, she's just like running towards it. It leaps above her and then it just kind of like, bleh, like hits her from the back. Like just like this. I don't know, I couldn't stop laughing when this happened. This was amazing. I lost it. This was too funny. This, incredibly, this isn't even the funniest thing that happened in episode 3. There's like multiple scenes with this wolf. And all of them are so bad. They're so bad. I'm laughing again at this. Oh my god. Okay, so, yeah, I'm bringing the show up because this series really is a testament to how overworked and underpaid the anime industry is. It's kind of a feat. It's incredible. They just took this work, they didn't give any money to these animators, and then they're like, create it. Make it happen. Draw that dragon. Draw that wolf. Draw the blacksmith doing nothing but hitting a sword for multiple days, because that's a plot point. I don't know, Bear went on like a really long rant about that after we watched that in one of the episodes. There's an elf who ends up forging weapons, and she does this by just like hitting a sword for like days. She just hits the sword over and over, and that's like not how that works. Like, you have to like let it rest for a little bit. Like, you're not just constantly hitting it. You know, Bear was disgusted. Yeah, no, there's an elf that just hits a sword for days. Yeah, no, it's a plot point, and it's like a character trait. She gets so obsessed with creating the perfect weapon that she doesn't eat or sleep. She just hits a sword for multiple days. The more I describe this series, the more ridiculous it is. It's kind of incredible. But yeah, anyway, that's not how swords are made. That's just not a thing. That's... Obviously, like, there's some, like, hammering that happens, but, like, no. No. So anyway, I really, truly think that the series needs to be experienced in order to be believed. You don't have to do what I did. Some of you have already done more than enough. Some of you got like 15 minutes in and dropped it. That's perfect. You didn't have to like have your eyes be seared by the sight of that dragon. But just to walk you through, if you are interested in watching this horrible, horrible thing, you can, as far as like what happens in each of the first 3 episodes. First episode, all of the tension is just immediately gone because he's overpowered and he fights a dragon. Episode 2, you meet the elf who won't stop hammering things. Episode 3, you get more of the elf's backstory. I think episode 3 is my favorite. It's so bad. It's so bad I can't stop laughing about it. So episode 3 is where you get the elf's tragic backstory and all of the scenes with the wolf. All of the scenes with the wolf. Oh my god. You know, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad you all will save yourselves. That's perfect. But just in case you want to touch that stove, you're welcome. You're welcome, because the series is truly terrible. I do actually want to let you all know at the time of writing how badly reviewed this show is. So I am generally of the opinion that scores for shows on my anime list are kind of like helpful benchmarks, but they're not always strictly accurate. There's some shows that like you'll look at and be like, yeah, that show totally deserves that. And then of course you look at shows that you love and you're like, oh, how dare they? It's not nearly as high as it should be. There's some shows though that you're like, oh yes, perfect, excellent. Frieren and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood are near the top of the list. Perfect. Yes, all is as it should be. But anyway, in this particular case, I actually do think that the score for the show is informative. And I think that it's it's rather telling. Yeah, you know, that's actually Man in the Moon. That's a perfect way. That's a great segue, because the vast, vast, vast majority of shows are going to be rated right around 7. Like between 7 and 8 is where most shows will fall. Shows that are regarded very highly by the community tend to get bumped up into the 8s. A lot of sequels, just because people are excited about sequels, will also get bumped up into the 8s. And that's fine. Like, sequels are exciting. I'm a big fan. And then like some of like the really highly regarded shows will be in like the 9s. But anything below a 7, I would say between like a 6 and a 7 is probably still watchable. In fact, there's some shows that are in like the high 6s that I don't think deserve to be there. Like some shows that I've enjoyed, but I think people just like didn't like at the time, or they didn't get a lot of reviews. At some point I could make a stream just talking about some of those shows. But anyway, I'm generally of the opinion that if it's above a 6.5, it's gonna be watchable. It just might not be like incredible. Below a 6.5 is when you start having some problems. Anything below a 6.5 is not regarded well by the community. And if you actually drop below the fabled 6.0, if you actually drop down into the 5s, that is something incredible. There are not that many shows that get dropped that low. Like most shows that come out every season will be in at least the 6s. It's very uncommon for shows to go into the 5s if they're a full production. Most of the time, shows that are rated with 4s and 5s on my anime list, they tend to be shows that have like 4 or 3 minute episodes because people really don't like those. People on Mal really don't like short episode anime, so they tend to review bomb them. And I can't necessarily blame them, but most of the time when I look at a show and it's rated at like a 4 or a 5, I'm like, oh, it's got like 4-minute episodes, and like 9 times out of 10 that's the case. Okay, so this has all been a preparation for you all. This series, at the time of writing, 3 episodes in, it's at a 5.29. That might be one of the lowest scores I've seen for a currently airing anime with full 24-minute episodes. A 5.29. That's crazy. That means that even people who would normally just watch whatever isekai is out there hate this. They absolutely hate this. I think that is absolutely incredible, absolutely amazing. A 5.29 is crazy. Here's the thing, I think it probably will continue to sink lower because this is just the beginning, right? This is just the beginning of the season. These types of shows tend to get even lower, so there's a chance we could see this in the 4s. We could see this in the 4s. But at least right now it's in the low 5s, which is incredible. I don't know, I'm amazed. There's a bunch of folks who will just rate isekai well, regardless of what's in it. I think that's actually the only reason why this is even a 5, is because there's some folks that are like, give it a chance, maybe it'll be okay. And you know, if you're one of those people, bless your heart. You live your best life. You do you. If you want to try and give this the benefit of the doubt, please definitely do so. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to mention this because I think that it's important to recognize when a show is legendarily bad. This should be a 7 out of 100. It was 7 out of 700. Here's the thing, I think this does deserve to be much lower. It's really bad, and yet I'm going to continue watching it. I'll give y'all a full report at the end of the season. Like, I'll have so many screenshots for y'all. It's gonna be a wild trip. I'm sure I'm gonna have even more crazy things. Because that's the thing, if it looks like this, and we're only a few episodes in, oh, it's just all downhill from here. It's all downhill from here. Please, no, lol. I'm sorry, I might not be able to help myself. I'll just show you the bare minimum. the best shots that I can procure for you all from this series. Like the elf blacksmith, if we hit the dislike enough times, they may rework the anime. God, it's true, you just have to hit that dislike for days. Just can't stop for drinking or sleeping or eating. Like, seriously, that's just the character trait of this elf. She just, like, is on death's door every time she tries to make a weapon. It's just, like, not how it works at all. That's just not. That's not a thing. Oh, God. Yes, I will sacrifice myself for you all. Even if you all don't watch all of this, I will watch all of it. And then I will have screenshots to show you all when we come back to this next time. Oh, God, this is too funny. Yeah, I think the next episode's coming out in a couple days, too, so that'll be fun. I want to see how they top the wolf episode. The wolf episode was pretty funny. And that's the thing. I don't want to delight in the misery of these poor animators who are putting this together. They're clearly doing the best that they can. It's just like, this is a tragedy that needs to be... I need to document this. This is important. This is important. This needs to happen. Oh, God. Okay, so anyway. Thank you all so much. With that, we have reached the end of our seasonal anime review. If I didn't talk about a show that you enjoyed, that does not mean that, again, that it wasn't right for you to enjoy it. It just means that you enjoyed something that I didn't either, I didn't have a good vibe with, or I just enjoyed other things more. And that's totally fine. I always want you all to enjoy whatever you enjoy. And then, yeah, if any of this was helpful for, I don't know, just like finding new fun shows to check out, or extremely bad ones to watch, then you can have a good time watching those, or a bad time, an extremely bad time with a wolf that just kicks people. I can't believe that that's what it did. It could have bitten her, but it didn't. It kicked her instead. I don't think they wanted to animate it biting her, and I kind of understand. Like, clearly there's no budget for this show, but like, oh boy. There's so many things to watch. I don't know. I hope that this helped to narrow things down at least, because like there's a bunch of things, and I hope that like if this helped to see like, ooh, I might be interested in this thing, or I might check other things out, then yeah, I think that would be really good. But yeah, give me 1 second, y'all. I'm gonna go pull up, I'm sorry, I have to go back a couple slides. I have to go back, and while we read super chats, I need to, we're gonna be on this dragon. Oh God. Oh my God, yes. Oh, okay. So here's the thing. So Bear and I have been talking about this for a little bit. Something we have planned for a future member stream, we might actually be doing it this month, is we are planning on doing a so bad it's confusing anime review. Shows that are so bad that you're like, how did this get made? What is happening here? What's going on? And X-Arm is one of those. X-Arm is one of those confusing shows that you're like, how did this happen? Who let this happen? This is crazy. So yeah, anyway, that should be pretty fun for y'all. Dragon, my life is pain. Yeah, no, we have some truly delightful ones. I'm looking forward to that. That should be pretty fun. I think that'll be good. X-Arm is another legendarily bad show. That's the thing, at the end of this, y'all will have some interesting things to go and check out if you're interested. Oh, God. Okay, let me go real quick. I'm gonna go pull up super chats before I just start laughing at this dragon again. Oh my God, Painflow. Okay, I don't want to make that dragon an emote. I said, no, you can't. Do it. You live your best life. Do it. There's so many hilarious moments in this anime. It's kind of incredible. Oh, okay. Let me go through real quick. Thank you all for the super chats, by the way. Thank you for the gifted memberships too. And thank you for just hanging out. Some of y'all joined the membership live. That was wild. Y'all are so sweet. I appreciate the hell out of y'all. Okay, and let me real quick. I'm gonna go through. Sierra, you sent so many super chats. Thank you. Another Yumie rant time. And that is just true. It was... Here's the thing, when have I not gone on a long tangent? Especially if biology is involved. I actually didn't go on a long rant about biology this time. I went on a long rant about RVs though, and state fairs. So that was good. Oh God. Oh, yeah, no, the goddess is, the goddess from Tsukimichi is like, I don't know, she's like very obsessed with her appearance to the point where she's like, oh, I'm just the most beautiful person that's ever existed, and everyone who exists in my world needs to be beautiful too. And like, I don't know, I'm a big fan of Tsukimichi. I think it plays with that theme very well, without like, I don't know, I think it does a fun job with like a lot of the demi-humans too. That's good. That's very good. Big fan. Just a mini rant on the jellyfish. Here's the thing, I had to keep it contained because then I'd start talking too much about like how jellyfish move. I had like a whole thing I was gonna write up of like, yeah, so like here's how like their motor functions work, and they don't have a brain, but they do this. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna jump straight into it. I'm just gonna briefly talk about it. I can always talk about jellyfish later. Oh. Oh man, here's the thing, Albineth. I think you all will come to know. You all will come to know what is in my trash anime folder. It's extensive. There's a lot of them. Look forward to that. I think that will be the member stream at the end of this month. I think that's the plan. There was a couple of ideas because I've got a bunch of things that I want to do for member streams. I was trying to figure out what timing I would do for those, but I think that will be this month's. So you'll get to see Bear. Bear will hang out and we'll talk about all of the worst anime we've watched. And why it's legendarily bad. Oh, Sky, that's so nice! Yumie, you could teach and become the world's first VTuber teacher. God, do you know, I actually am really impressed. There are other VTubers that also will, like, do informative stuff. I know there's a history VTuber that does history lessons, which is really cool. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Josuiji Shinri. He is on, I think it's technically the first generation of Holostars within Cover Corporation, but he knows a lot about, he has several advanced degrees, and based on the things that he has knowledge about, I suspect that they're legal degrees. Like, I think he might have been studying law at some point. But yeah, no, there is a historian VTuber. God, I should look this up for y'all. Hold on. I saw her the other day. I was on Twitter and I was like, damn, that's cool. Hold on. History VTuber. Let me go look her up. Bump, bump. Rodden from Regloss. Here's the thing, of course, she's gonna teach you about all kinds of things. She's gonna teach you about how to be cool as hell, and we'll teach you a bunch about the smoking cigarettes and just, I don't know. Rodden is cool. I love her. Oh god. Okay, let's see. Hold on. No, what is... God, what is her name? VTuber who teaches history class. Let's see if that gets me anything. Oh, I think I found her. Hold on. Pulling her up. Is this correct? Is this her? This looks like her. Let me go double check. Yes. Okay. Her name is Cleo Aite. Let me type that in the chat for you all. Actually, I'll type it on screen. That's even better for folks watching this as a VOD. Okay, hold on. Let me go text. Cleo Aite. History VTuber. Okay. Here you go. So that is very, I don't know, it's very flattering of y'all to say that I'm helpful for teaching things. Because like I look at folks like Cleo and like some of the stuff that I've watched of hers has been really good and very impressive. So thank you all. I'm glad that y'all can learn about silly biology things or I don't know, gaming things or anime. I'm glad that that's helpful. I'm helpful that that's helpful. That's what I was almost gonna say. That doesn't make the most sense. But yeah, it's implying that the dragon is Cleo. Oh man. But yeah, in case you're interested, she is a history VTuber who I learned about, I think last week actually. And I was excited about that because I think that's super cool that folks do that. So yeah, I think that's awesome. Okay. Poor Cleo. I know she doesn't deserve this. Hold on, let me get her a better. Here we go. Cleo Aite, she's with the dogs now. Here's the thing, if it makes you feel better, as someone who has close to I had like half of a PhD, so like close to like a master's level of education, who went away from academia. Sometimes you just find that it's not for you. And I honestly think it's pretty cool when like VTubers are able to like, I don't know, like make a living from just getting to talk about their hobbies and sharing things that they love. So I think that's cool. I'm actually not sure if she does it full time. I don't know if she's still like a history teacher or not. But yeah, can this be a meme? This can be a meme. I'm so glad that it gave y'all a whole bunch of stuff. Oh man. But yeah, anyway, okay, I got distracted. Let me return to super chats. Thank you all. Yokai aren't free from taxes. No. Oh god. Yeah. Sadly, bureaucracy does come for us all, Sierra. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you had to find out this way. We can't escape. But maybe someday we can have better work days and it'll be good. It'll be very good. Yeah, actually, I don't know. Oh god, I'm trying to think of folks who might have PhDs. I think, I think Shinri has a master's, based on what he's talked about. Shinri was actually a teacher. That was shocking to me. When I was hearing about that, I'm like, oh damn. Holy cow. So you actually did do the teaching thing. I had thought about going into teaching, but then I was like, ooh, I don't want to do that, actually. I have decided that is not something that I want to do. And now I get to ramble to you all, and that's fantastic. But yeah, let me actually check. Let me go see. I don't know if Cleo's got a PhD or not. She might, actually. If she's in history, generally, most places you kind of have to have a PhD. Let's go see. Tell me your secrets, history professor. I'm just gonna type it in. Let's go. Let me go. We're just researching her live. I'm sorry, Cleo. I'm trying to learn about you with my viewers. Okay, let's go. Pulling it up. Do. Let's go see. Up. She was a real life history professor, according to this, which, if that's how she's categorizing herself, as a history professor who specialized in medieval history, I think she's almost definitely got a PhD. You don't get professorships with just a master's. You generally have to have a PhD in some capacity. So yeah, I would definitely go and check out her stuff. It sounds like she's doing a bunch of VTubing now, which is cool. Yeah, that's the thing. You'd be surprised. There's a surprising number of VTubers. I know it's kind of I don't want to say like a stereotype. I understand where it originated, but like there's this impression that like a lot of VTubers don't have a lot of education, but there's a surprising number of people that do. It's kind of wild. So yeah, anyway, there you have it. Sky membership fee is substantially less than tuition, so this works out when we learn from you. You know, that is perfect. That does work out pretty well. I do try to keep that fairly low for you folks, so. Oh god. But anyway, there you have it. Now you've learned there's a history VTuber who almost definitely has a PhD, but if she doesn't, she's got a master's. And masters are extremely impressive. Like, my god, extremely impressive. Okay. I was reading super chats, sorry. Let me get back to this. Thank you, Gabriel, for the super chat. Make a list of so bad it's good or fun bad. You read my mind. You read my mind, exactly. That is the plan. I'm going to put together a bunch of that for y'all, where There are some anime that are delightful to watch, even though they're terrible. And there's some anime that are terrible, but like you should know about them. So yeah. Yep, we will get into that. It will be quite good. Oh God. Oh my word. But yeah, thank you all. That ended up being quite a tangent. That was quite a tangent, y'all. Oh my God. But yeah, thank you all very much. Oh, hold on. Are y'all saying the VTuber Kakapo? Does she have a PhD in physics? Let me pull this up. She's a Japanese VTuber. Let's go. Oh, she's adorable. That's so cute. Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, she actually knows a bunch about physics. Well, for those of you who can speak Japanese, unless she has some English streams, the VTuber, hold on. I'm gonna type this out for y'all. Oh man. Okay, let me do this. Oh, hold on, let me move this real quick. So I can actually read this. Kitashira Kawa Kakapo Physics VTuber. I'll make that smaller so you could actually read that. And then I'll just put down Josuiji Shinri Law and Horror VTuber. Okay, let me go real quick. Oh God, hold on, I gotta change the text on this, it's too light. Hold on 1 second. This is gonna be black? Does that show it better? Not much. Hold on, give me a second. Let's bring that back to white again. And then I'll go change our scene. There you go. There you go. Here's the folks who have experience in academia and teaching. The 3 legendary VTuber as golems. Oh God, yes, that's so true. Oh, Cleo the Dragon and friends. Here you go. We've come back to this, so that's the 3 of them. Oh God, thank you all so much. This has been so much fun. I always love these streams because I get to talk about all the anime I've watched. This one was particularly great because I got to walk you through how terrible this anime is. Oh God. Thank you. This is a normal stream then. Cool. I'll stay here forever. That's extremely kind of you. Thank you. Yeah, no, I tend to ramble a lot. This is fairly normal, even when I'm on track. My event streams are probably the ones where I tend to stay the most on track, but even then things go kind of crazy. Man, I told y'all, right, that like Star Rail has made me into a bit of a gremlin, like to the point where now both Bear and I, when we watch things, will be like, take their shoes. It's all over for me. I've just become, I don't know, it's brought out the worst instincts in me. I just gotta take everyone's shoes. It's no good. I'm so glad you all enjoyed this. Oh my God. Oh my word. Thank you all so much. This has been so much fun. Oh my word. Yeah, look forward to, the end of the season. I'll report back to you folks. I'll tell you folks all of the other things that happened in the Banished Hero. And then I've got a bunch of other stuff too that I'll be able to talk about. So I really did become as chaotic as the Trailblazer. Yeah, no, Sky, it's okay. It's okay. Bear has been corrupted, but it's all good. God, every time he says that, it makes me laugh so hard. Oh my God. That's true. What am I doing taking all these shoes? I can't even wear them. I have a tail. What's wrong with me? I need to stop. I can't do this. I need to stop. I have a collection of shoes that I can't even use. It's terrible. I don't know. Maybe I can give them to someone else. A bear certainly can't wear them. God, we have to go to like specialized places to buy shoes for Bear, the poor man. The poor man, he's got enormous polar bear feet. It's ridiculous. Like, he's got, I think like the widest that you can go, like the widest that you can like reasonably find shoes. It's ridiculous. I think it's like a 6E or something. Like they have sizes, like the width of shoes. I think like wide shoes are a D for some reason. I don't know why they jump immediately to D, but then they're like, okay, instead of going through the rest of the alphabet, everything after D, we're just gonna have as an E, and then we're just gonna add extra E's onto it. So the widest shoe size that we can find is a 6E, which means that there's 6 E's. Why have they done this? They could have just gone down the alphabet, but they didn't. They're like, nope, 6 of them, 6 E's. Prior to that, I think he was wearing 4 E's, and they were too small. They were like squeezing his sad feet. We had to go to a specialty shop, and it was incredible. We walked into this specialty shop with these special shoes for polar bear people. And other people who are extremely tall. And the person who owned the shop was there at the front desk, and it was like both Bear and this man were enormous. They were enormous, and they're like, ah, my people, I see, I understand. You know my shoe size, it's E. You know, thankfully his feet are not suffering anymore. I felt so bad when he tried on these shoes and he's like, oh, I didn't know shoes could be comfortable. And I'm like, that's so sad. That's so sad. We're gonna get you good shoes from now on. And it's great because that place also has like work boots and things too. So like he can do yard work and like, I don't know, we can go out in the winter time and he has shoes that are comfortable. It's amazing. So anyway, sometimes you just have to do specialty stuff. We have to do the same thing for like, because like you poor tall people, you're so tall that you have to get like special stuff so that it's actually long enough. We have to go to special places that sell big and tall clothes just so that like stuff will actually fit. It's ridiculous. Oh my God. I mean, the worst thing that I have to worry about is just like, I don't know, not being able to reach some shelves and like idly cursing the snack gods for making me so short, but like, oh God. Was the owner's name Stewie? It was not Stewie. That would have been great though. Oh man. No, Bear is great. I'm a big fan. He's great. Just now he's actually got shoes that fit. It's good. It's very, very good. Oh God. I think I've told y'all this before though. It's really funny when we go around places because the size difference between us is so comically large that like most people will just default to looking down at me if they need to say something. Because like I'm slightly closer to like a lot of people's heights. So like we'll go places and Bear is just like enormous standing next to me. And then most of the people will just look down at me and be like, oh, how can we help you? They're like, I'm sorry. You have to pick and choose. You have to either crane your head down to look at me or you have to look up at Bear. Oh man. So yeah, anyway. Oh no, that's actually true. Maybe Bear is collecting all the shoes to find the one shoe to rule them all. I hadn't considered this possibility. Do I need to take all of the shoes and throw them into Mount Doom? Oh God, I might need to do that. I think that might need to happen. Oh, also, by the way, I'm just throwing this out there, like nebulously. Whenever I actually have stuff like figured out with my modem and like we're done with the Blue Archive watch along, do anticipate we're gonna watch the Lord of the Rings films. That's going to happen. I'm making this a priority. I often compare my lore archive videos to Lord of the Rings. They love Lord of the Rings a lot. We're going to watch it. It's going to be very good. Oh my god, Clara and Svarog cosplay. Oh my god, that's actually incredible. That's actually such a good idea. Here's the thing. I also really liked the idea of doing a cosplay from Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun because the height difference between Nozaki and Sakura is like fairly comparable to our height difference. But Clara and Svarog is so good. That's so good. Yeah, that's the thing. If there aren't internet hiccups, we can just enjoy our time watching stuff. Here's the thing. I think there's going to be some folks who haven't seen, in fact, I actually know there will be some folks who haven't seen Lord of the Rings before, and I'm not sure if I want to do the extended cut. I feel like that might be too intimidating. Like, the extended cut of Return of the King is like 4.5 hours. That's crazy. I think that might be too much, but we'll see. If it's not too intimidating, we can watch it. But otherwise, we'll just do the regular stuff. Yeah. Yumi as Michiru and Bear as Tsukuyo. Oh my god, that'd be incredible. Oh, yeah, no, the extended cuts of The Lord of the Rings are really long. They're really, really long. And here's the thing, they're really, really good. But if you've never seen them before, I think it might be better for us just to do the regular version. I think that might be better. It's hard. There's some scenes that I really like in the extended cuts, but, yeah. I think that would be super good. So, yeah. I'm excited for it. It's gonna be good. We're gonna watch those and it'll be great. Oh man, here's the thing. Oh, that's very flattering of y'all to be like, Yumi could just read the books for us, but I can't compete with Andy Serkis. He does the voices for a lot of the audiobooks that are out there. Oh my god, they're amazing. He's so talented. Oh my god. It's incredible. So that is very flattering. That's very flattering of you all. I don't know. It's just, oh, when you have such legends out there, oh, it's incredible. He really does do so many good voices. Oh my god. Yeah, I think that's, Foxden, I think that's exactly correct. Like, the extended cuts are better, like, if you were a big fan of the series. Like, if you watch the regular cuts and you're like, I just want more, then you can go watch the extended versions. But I think they're just too much for your average viewer. Like, there's a reason why they cut the scenes that they did, which is just that it flows a little bit better. I don't know. Lord of the Rings is really good. Oh, it's really, really good. I'm very excited to watch that with you all. It'll be good. That'll probably be, I don't know, a couple months out though. We gotta make sure that my modem is working, and that I can actually host watch-alongs reliably. So, yep. Yeah, no, thank you all for listening to me ramble about random VTubers and then putting them up on screen with these horrible dogs. Oh my god, this has been so much fun. Thank you all so much. Oh god, that's true. Christopher Lee did do some absolutely fantastic Lord of the Rings audiobooks too. It's so hard to find them though. Here's the thing, he is so talented. I'm so happy that he was involved in that production. There's so many things, like after we end up watching some of the films, I've watched so much commentary on them because they're really, like, obviously, there's big differences between them and the books. There's certain things that they had to cut and certain things they had to adapt, but I think they are amazing. Absolutely incredible. Like, just in I don't know, impossibly good works of art, as well as great adaptations. And it's cool to listen to, like, some of the actors talk through, like, some of the preparation that they did for their roles, and listening to Christopher Lee talk about some of the things that he contributed to the production is kind of incredible because he lived a very hard life in a lot of ways. He was actually sent to war for a period of time, and some of the things that he was able to contribute was there was a scene where someone is stabbed. I know, crazy. And Lord of the Rings, there's someone who gets stabbed at some point. Maybe multiple people, because there's a lot of conflict happening. And originally on the set, the sounds that the actor made was like very dramatic. They like made a kind of a loud like yell as they were stabbed, or like a loud grunt. And Christopher Lee went up to Peter Jackson and was like, no, that's not how that would be. That's not what would happen if someone is stabbed. It's more like this. And like he then explained like what it's like when someone is stabbed. And then the actor was able to perform that. And I want you all to think about how crazy that is. This like honestly extremely kind, like well-regarded actor had to live through some truly horrific things and like was able to take some of that knowledge, pass it on in like some way just to further this production. And I think that's incredible. And that's the thing, Peter Jackson's like, you would know. You know better than I do. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. All right, thank you. Oh my God. But yeah, he is an incredible person. So yeah, I'm very excited. Very excited for when we get to watch that. It'll be very, very good when we do get around to that. So look forward to that. And in the meantime, we're gonna have lots more Blue Archive that will be coming up. Lots more with our watch along. As far as next week is concerned, I should have our schedule up. Probably, I think I should probably have it up Sunday? Maybe Monday. I'll try to get it up by Sunday for you folks though. I've got some exciting stuff coming up next week that I think y'all will have a bunch of fun with, so. Oh, god damn, is that true? Oh my god, he also witnessed the last public execution by the guillotine in France before going to Finland? My god, Christopher Lee! My god! Well, that's incredible. I feel like I need to read a biography of him because he had so many crazy things that he lived through. Yeah, no, he's an absolute legend. Holy cow. Oh, and yes, don't you worry. Don't you worry, Kaiser. That is actually my plan. I will be finishing up Volcano Princess with you folks. Something that I will be doing is I'm gonna try and wrap it up in kind of one more episode. One more stream. But it will be essentially one more episode. There's a couple of reasons for that, but I will make sure that we hit all of the like big important notes on it. I actually discovered that some of the later parts of Volcano Princess actually have copyright on them, which isn't an issue. It just means that like some of the content will be claimed. So like I won't get ad revenue from that, which isn't the biggest deal, but I don't want to roll those dice too many times. And just in case there's something that like might actually have some issues if I keep playing the game, keep having that happen. I was surprised I had that happen on the last one. A copyright claim came through from the original creators. They ended up rescinding it after a couple of hours, but it did make me think that some later parts of the game they want folks to experience for themselves, and I can respect that. That being said, I do want to show you all our conclusion with Nokorin, so I'm going to make this work. What it will probably look like is I'll have some pre-recorded footage if I end up playing through a little bit of the game and some story stuff comes up, but my plan is to get us to like the very end of her story, like get us through like her day-to-day tasks and some grinding and get us to like the big story conclusion. But yeah, I'll make sure that if there's anything along the way that I've got that ready to go for you folks, but that will take me just a little bit to get that ready, so look forward to that. That will be coming up. We will see the thrilling conclusion of Nokorin. But yeah, I hope that won't be too inconvenient for folks, but I think that it'll be a nice way to conclude her story, and if I end up getting copyright claims, we'll just roll with it. It'll be fine. Copyright claims are honestly not the biggest deal. It's more of a problem on like some of my really big videos, I want to be very careful about that. But for Volcano Princess, I think we should be all right. And that's good. I'm glad. We do need to see how swole she gets. It's extremely important. We need to see how powerful she becomes, and we will. We will see her at the end of all of this. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming to hang out with me. This was so much fun. I'm so happy I got to talk about so much anime, and then Lord of the Rings, and a bunch of other stuff. You know, we do need to arrest some people. Nokori needs to get swole and then take down some of the creepy people in the town. I think that's the plan. I think that is the plan. Oh God. But anyway, thank you all again. I hope that y'all have a fantastic rest of your day wherever you are in the world. And I will see you folks very soon. I'll be streaming early next week. And then we're gonna have 2 streams next week. We'll have our watch along the week after and some other fun stuff that'll be coming up. So yeah, look forward to it. It'll be good. Wait, we have a plan? That's the thing. I'm not sure if we have a plan. I have a plan. I have a plan for Nokorin in Volcano Princess. I'm gonna make her extremely powerful, and that's all that I know. That's all that I'm gonna do. Oh God, I feel bad. I know that not everyone watches the Volcano Princess playthroughs, but all that you need to know is that my daughter is extremely swole. That's all that you need to know. She's extremely swole and bench presses everything. It's extremely good. But anyway, I will see you all very, very soon. Thank you so much. I know I've said thank you a lot, but honestly, this was a bunch of fun. This was really fun to talk about all this. And yeah, I'll see you folks very soon for our next couple of streams. Bye for now.